Chapter 710. Swoosh. At this moment, Xiaoping had transformed into a Koan Peng. His speed was extremely fast, like a bolt of lightning. Even the soul-sucking bell on his body kept ringing, emanating strange mental fluctuations that affected the demons within a radius of hundreds of meters. All of them were shaken dizzy. Even though the surrounding demons wanted to surround Xiaoping, they were also affected by the soul-sucking bell. One by one, they screamed and fell to the ground, clutching their heads and rolling around frantically. In a breath's time, he rushed out of the entrance of the Sky Demon Cemetery and came to the outside. Damn it! Damn human! Don't even think about escaping. Are humans so cowardly? If you have the guts, stay and fight us for 300 rounds. Seeing Xiaoping leave, the group of demons were dumbfounded. They wanted to chase after him, but the cemetery's restrictive array formation restrained them, preventing them from leaving. In the end, they could only watch helplessly as Xiaoping left this place. Xiaoping ignored the roars of the demons. In his eyes, these demons were not as important as him advancing to the Grandmaster Realm. Once he advanced to the Grandmaster Realm, he would kill these demons like pigs and dogs. Swoosh! A few minutes later, Xiaoping finally arrived at a remote valley in the Sky Demon Cemetery, according to the map given by Qiushu. Oh, this place. After arriving at this place, Xiaoping suddenly discovered that there was no valley at all. Instead, it was a barren land surrounded by low mountains. There was not even a plant. The ground was charred black and gravel was everywhere. There was no life to speak of, as if there were no living beings within a radius of several kilometers. This place was completely different from the valley described by Qiushu. He immediately felt that Qiushu had made a mistake and given him the wrong map. No, there's something strange here. Xiaoping's mental strength spread out and immediately sensed that the air was filled with a mysterious power that seemed to distort his mental perception. If not for his powerful mental strength, he would not have sensed the strangeness here. Golden Crow Eye. Xiaoping immediately opened his eyes. His left eye seemed to surge with a huge flame, like a sun spinning in the depths of his pupil. In an instant, he stimulated an incredible eye power that could see through everything. Immediately, he saw through this place. It should have been a barren hill, but under the Golden Crow Eye, the environment of this place had undergone a completely different change. It was full of vitality and lush greenery. Birds sang, flowers bloomed, and countless trees stood. The depths of the valley were filled with a rich fragrance that made one feel relaxed and happy. There's a natural soul confusion array here. Once you get close, it can distort your senses and create illusions. Xiaoping immediately understood why such a situation had occurred. At the same time, he also understood why this valley had never been discovered despite being so close to the heavenly demon cemetery. When ordinary people pass by this place, even grandmasters, they would be confused by the natural formations here. They would just treat it as an ordinary hill and pass by quickly. In fact, if Qiushu hadn't been chased by the demons and luckily passed by this place, she wouldn't have discovered this mysterious valley. Thinking of this, Xiaoping did not hesitate and immediately walked forward. Boom! Immediately, the scenery around him changed dramatically. It was as if he had walked into a paradise. He had come to a valley full of vitality, and the surroundings were filled with dense spiritual qi. Xiaoping could feel that his 108,000 pores were greedily sucking in the spiritual qi here. This place was full of vitality and contained a dense life force, completely different from the outside world. He used his mental strength to sense the surroundings, but did not find any living beings. He continued deeper into the valley and was surprised to find a towering tree that was 100 meters tall growing here. And on the tree, there was a white spirit fruit. It was snow-white in color and had unique silver patterns on it. It emitted a silver glow that was dazzling like a full moon. White spirit ginseng fruit. Xiaoping immediately knew that this was the legendary spirit fruit of heaven and earth. White spirit ginseng fruit. What a rich medicinal effect. It's at least 500 years old. Xiaoping clenched his fists. He could sense that this spirit fruit contained a rich medicinal effect that was extraordinary. He knew that if he consumed it, it would definitely help him break through to the Grandmaster realm. Fortunately, there was a natural soul confusion array here that could isolate the outside world. Otherwise, this white spirit ginseng fruit would have been snatched away by others. How could it be his turn? Ha! Xiaoping jumped lightly and immediately plucked the white spirit ginseng fruit from the branch. Without a word, he bit down on this spirit fruit that was more than 500 years old. It melted in his mouth. He felt that this spirit fruit instantly melted into boundless energy that flowed through his throat and into his body, entering every cell. This white spirit ginseng fruit contained an unknown amount of essence of heaven and earth. The energy it contained wasn't something that ordinary spirit herbs could compare to. If it was released to the outside world, it would be priceless. Perhaps even king tiers would want it. So comfortable. Xiaoping sat down cross-legged and circulated the pure yang immortal art. The sun furnace in the depths of his dantian revolved slowly, devouring the boundless energy and transforming it into his own. It was unknown how many trillions of cells in his body were greedily absorbing this energy. Boundless true essence flowed around his meridians like a great river. Because this valley had a natural soul confusion array, he wasn't worried that someone would enter the valley and disturb him in a short period of time. Therefore, he was very relaxed and cultivated here. Bang, bang, bang. After an unknown amount of time, when the white spirit ginseng fruit's energy was completely refined, a huge amount of true essence flowed around and passed through his meridians. 1, 2, 3, 4. In just a few breaths, for meridians were all connected. It was simply irresistible. Normally, one would need a few months or even a year to open meridians. However, with the white spirit ginseng fruit's energy, he easily broke through. Up until now, he had a total of 108 meridians opened. This was the peak of the martial master realm. The 108 meridians were like 108 rivers. The power of the true essence surged crazily like lava, rumbling and surging. Xiaoping felt that his strength was unprecedentedly strong. It was as if the true essence in all 108 meridians was vibrating, and the image of a golden crow of hell condensed in the air. Indistinctly, a bird cry came from the air. It was like the sound of the primal chaos being split apart. It caused one's soul to tremble, and even the earth to tremble. However, he felt that things weren't over yet. When all 108 meridians were connected, the true essence in his body resonated. It seemed like when the true essence reached a certain density, it would undergo a huge transformation. This was like water flowing when the conditions were right. There were no obstructions at all. Bang! An acupoint in his body was connected, and the true essence rapidly transformed into astral energy. Chapter 711. What was a Grandmaster? That was the realm of breaking through the void and entering the introspective convalescence realm. The so-called gods weren't gods or gods like God, angels, Sanqing, or Buddha. Instead, they referred to the numerous acupoints in the body. These acupoints controlled the life and death of humans. They were like gods. Some acupoints could kill humans with a light poke. Some could cure illnesses and strengthen one's immunity. Some could increase one's reaction speed, and so on. One could imagine how important acupoints were to humans. After reaching the Grandmaster realm, one's mental energy had increased tremendously. One could see the minute details and clearly sense every acupoint in one's body. Although one had to clear 9 acupoints in the martial warrior realm, those were the easiest acupoints to sense. In fact, there were 108 more important acupoints in one's body that had yet to be sensed. Only when one reached the Grandmaster realm and condensed astral energy would one be able to sense these acupoints clearly. There were 9 levels in the Grandmaster realm, and each level was stronger than the previous. Only by clearing all 108 acupoints in one's body and completely controlling one's body would one be able to reach the peak of the Grandmaster realm. Only then would one have a chance to step into the King realm. Is this the Grandmaster realm? Xiaoping sensed that after clearing one acupoint and advancing to the Grandmaster realm, the entire world seemed to have gone through an earth-shattering change. His mental energy was growing rapidly. Within a radius of 10 kilometers, he could clearly sense that his mental energy had doubled. If he circulated the epic of heaven now, everything within a radius of 1 kilometer would be affected. What a powerful force! Xiaoping clenched his fists. It was as though a light clench could even cause the air to explode. This force was many times stronger than before. The vast true origin energy in his body was converted by the sun furnace and rapidly condensed into astral energy. It surged into this newly opened acupoint, causing rumbling sounds to ring out. This acupoint was very big. Although it was smaller than the Dantian Qi Si, the amount of astral energy it contained was many times more than a meridian. It was like a lake. All the astral energy surged into this acupoint. Under the circulation of the pure yang immortal art, it seemed to undergo an inconceivable change, slowly condensing into the image of a golden crow of hell. It was as if there was a golden crow of hell residing in this acupoint. He was extremely shocked. If he could open 108 acupoints, wouldn't he have 108 golden crows of hell in his body? At that time, how powerful would he become? Dong! He punched out lightly. Along the way, a series of air explosions occurred, and the fist energy condensed into a substance. Hundreds of meters away, a piece of rock exploded and turned into powder in an instant. Grandmasters are indeed powerful. Although Xiaoping already had astral energy before, he was only a martial master at that time. Controlling astral energy was like a child playing with a knife. He was very unfamiliar with it and did not have enough strength. But now that he had reached Zhongshe realm, his mental energy had increased significantly. As such, it was extremely easy for him to control the power of his stellar energy. With a punch in the air, all the force in Xiao Qin's body burst forth, tearing through the air and turning it into stellar energy. This kind of strength was much stronger than a martial master. They were not on the same level at all. Only with the power of earth energy could he resist missiles and demolish a skyscraper with his bare hands. Moreover, when he reached Zhongshe realm, he had perfect control of his body. With a punch, he could mobilize all the force in his body. If he was a martial master, he could only mobilize part of his body's strength. Therefore, the fist energy of Zhongshe realm was much more destructive, even if it was against the same strength. At this time, when Xiaoping reached Zhongshe realm, he also felt that the golden crow of hell cells in his body seemed to be unsealed and completely integrated into his body. 1, 2, 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, 99. In the end, he had awakened 100 golden crow of hell cells. When he awakened 100 golden crow of hell cells, Xiaoping's strength increased crazily. His muscles and bones were further tempered and strengthened. Even his astral energy was purified. At the same time, he felt a wonderful power surging out of his body. When he awakened 100 golden crow of hell cells, another special ability of the golden crow of hell was born in his body. This feeling, Xiaoping suddenly felt that his back was very itchy, as if something was about to grow. From the depths of his spine, a mysterious golden crow energy seeped out. Rumble. After a few breaths, a pair of solid wings suddenly grew out of his back. The wings seemed to be made of flames, and each feather was the purest essence of the sun. With a light flap, he seemed to be able to easily control the power of fire in the world. As long as he willed it, he could create a huge fire. Even a heavy rain couldn't extinguish it. Such a light feeling. Xiaoping felt that his body was unprecedentedly relaxed. Countless air currents wrapped around his body, as if he had become the favorite of the world. It was as if this pair of wings was the ruler of the wind. All the air currents in the world were under the control of this pair of wings. Xiaoping felt as if he had turned into an angel at this moment, with the power to fly. With a light flap of his wings, he could fly high into the sky and soar freely. His speed was no slower than that of a plane. The legendary rock could soar 90,000 miles into the sky with a flap of its wings. The golden crow of hell was a divine beast that was even more powerful than a rock. Its wings contained all kinds of powers. When its bloodline reached a high level, it could even escape into the void and roam the universe. This pair of wings seems to be more powerful than the rock steps. Xiaoping's spiritual energy flowed into his body. He felt as if this pair of wings had existed in his body since he was a child. He could move freely without any hindrance. He flapped his wings as naturally as he breathed. It had to be said that although using the rock steps could also condense earth energy and form a pair of wings, it couldn't compare to this kind of instinctive flying power. The two were not on the same level at all. It was like swimming. No matter how good a human was at swimming, how could he compare to the flying fish that lived in the sea? It was a speed that couldn't be caught up with. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Xiaoping flapped his wings and instantly disappeared. He moved back and forth. Immediately, dozens of Xiaoping appeared in the air. They were so fast that they left behind afterimages. What was more frightening was that when he moved, the air around him didn't make any sound. It was as if he had merged with the air currents in the world and made them his. Chapter 712. 4. O. I. $. HD. 4. K. Carat S. R. Just as Xiaoping was circulating the pure yang immortal art, constantly consolidating his cultivation and controlling his skyrocketing power, he suddenly felt a trace of palpitation in his heart. Our rumble, our dark clouds gathered in the sky, and a vague power of lightning was brewing. It was as if an existence in the dark was staring at him, enveloping a radius of dozens of miles. A terrifying aura permeated the surroundings, stimulating every cell in his body. His sixth sense told him of a terrible threat. What's going on? Is this a lightning tribulation? Xiaoping was shocked. He recalled that when he first integrated the golden crow of hell bloodline, he had encountered a shocking lightning tribulation. One lightning bolt could instantly flatten a small mountain. If it weren't for Yanhuang University's defense system, he would have been struck into a piece of charcoal. Now that he had awakened 100 golden crow of hell cells, it seemed to have triggered a taboo in the heavens. A lightning tribulation was coming to kill a monster that shouldn't exist in this world. Xiaoping felt the power of lightning brewing in the sky. Although it wasn't as terrifying as the first time, he estimated that there were 9 lightning tribulations, each stronger than the last. Under the bombardment, even an ordinary grandmaster would be killed, leaving not even a corpse behind. But at this time, misfortune never came alone. The system said, "Host, please note that the soul-devouring beast avatar has been successfully condensed and is coming out of the graveyard of heavenly demons. It even has the power to control demons. When the time comes, it may send an army to kill the host." Rit reminded Xiaoping. What? Xiaoping's eyes narrowed. When it rains, it pours. Being killed by the lightning tribulation was already something that needed to be dealt with full strength. Now he was being chased by a terrifying demonic beast. This was simply being attacked from both front and back. If he happened to be killed by the soul-devouring beast while undergoing the tribulation, he would be in trouble. The worst-case scenario would be if he encountered the soul-devouring beast when he had just undergone the tribulation and was exhausted. At that time, he would be like fish on a chopping board, slaughtered by the other party. No, that's not right. Xiaoping immediately laughed. That soul-devouring beast is chasing after us at just the right time. Perhaps I can use that stupid beast to resist the lightning tribulation and have it lend me a hand. Now, he felt that the timing was perfect. With the help of the soul-devouring beast, he reckoned that the power of the lightning tribulation would be lessened by a lot, and he would be able to easily get through this fatal crisis. That soul-devouring beast probably didn't want to help him either, but it wasn't up to it to decide. Whoosh. With this thought in mind, Xiaoping controlled the golden crow's wings and flew in the air like a golden crow. In a few breaths' time, he had left the valley. Immediately, he felt a dark mass of evil qi coming from afar. Dark clouds covered the sky, covering the sun, as if there were countless evil demons flying in the sky. Although the fiends inside the Sky Devil graveyard couldn't come out, there were many fiends outside. The soul-devouring beast, on the other hand, only needed to use a little of its own power to control an army of evil devils. There were 100,000 of them. It was like the king of evil devils, surrounded by the stars and the moon. Leading the army, it charged towards Xiaoping. Although it had absolute confidence in its own strength, there was no need to take the risk of personally killing the enemy if it could use its army to overwhelm the enemy. This was the precious experience it had gained over tens of thousands of years. Fighting alone and outnumbered was the behavior of a brute. A smart person should gang up and defeat the enemy with absolute advantage. That's the soul-devouring beast. Xiaoping flew in the air, facing the soul-devouring beast army. He immediately saw a huge flying beast in the center of the countless evil demons. It was 4 to 5 meters tall, its body was pitch black, and it looked like a lion. It had fangs and claws, and a pair of black wings grew from its back. Its scales were distinct, and its eyes were like black holes, as if they could devour the souls of living beings. Although it was in the center of countless evil demons, it still emitted a heart-palpitating aura. This was the absolute ruler of evil demons, an existence that stood at the peak of countless living beings. It was known as the calamity of the universe. Even though it was only an avatar, it had the power to destroy everything. Human, you dare appear before me? The soul-devouring beast was a little surprised. It originally thought it would have to chase Xiaoping for a long time. Xiaoping was hiding everywhere, living in fear. Rit also wanted to use this opportunity to enjoy the joy of toying with its prey and vent its 10,000 years of resentment. But it never expected that just as it left the heavenly demon graveyard, this kid would appear before it openly. I don't dare to appear before you. Who do you think you are? You're just a prodigal dog. Xiaoping looked at the soul-devouring beast indifferently. Killing you is like killing a dog. He clenched his fists and stood in midair, his body emitting the aura of a grandmaster. Arrogant. Hearing this, the soul-devouring beast was instantly enraged. The soul-devouring beast, have been completely looked down upon by others. Do you think that I've lost all my abilities after being sealed for tens of thousands of years? Back when I was dominating the universe, your ancestor was still a demon. How dare a little brat like you yell at me? Believe it or not, I don't even need to do anything. Just these subordinates of mine can crush you to death. Rit was unable to restrain its anger. As the famous soul-devouring beast, it had destroyed countless lives. Back then, countless demon kings of the demon race had been killed by it and became food in its stomach. Rand in its eyes, this human was just a tiny dot, not even a snack. But he actually dared to say that killing it, the soul-devouring beast, was like killing a dog. Did this be *starred think that after being sealed, he would have no skills left? Did he think a fallen phoenix was inferior to a chicken? That a fallen tiger would be bullied by a dog? Crush me to death. I can wipe out a bunch of trash with a wave of my hand. Xiaoping looked at the army of 100,000 demons disdainfully. It was as though they were not experts, but just small fries. You can wipe them out with a wave of your hand. I want to see how you'll wipe them out. Go, kill this human and skin him. The soul-devouring beast flew into a rage. It could not tolerate this human for even a second. Rit had never seen a creature more arrogant than it was. This brat was the first. He dared to be so domineering and arrogant in front of its famous soul-devouring beast. Did he really think that the soul-devouring beast had no temper? Yes, master. Go, kill this human. A dog-like thing dares to bark at its master. Go teach him what manners is. The army of 100,000 demons let out an earth-shattering roar. Their aura was like a dragon as they charged forward. This kind of power was enough to destroy a huge city and cause a natural disaster. They're here. Chapter 713. F, B, F, I, 8 asterisk, D, C, T, U, $, W, Dash. What's going on? The soul-devouring beast was taken aback. It immediately sensed a huge change in the world. It looked up and found that the sky had been covered by dark clouds. Windless dark clouds rolled, as if a giant dragon was turning over. In the depths of the void, a huge black hole appeared. Countless lightning bolts were rolling in the black hole, as if a thunder god lived in the depths of the black hole, rumbling. From this black hole, an aura that made countless living beings' hearts palpitate was emitted. The 100,000-strong demon army obviously felt this shocking aura as well. Every one of them was frightened, as if they had encountered a calamity. This was the power of heaven, unmatched. F***CK. This soul-devouring beast immediately recognized what it was and cursed. This is heavenly punishment. What's going on? Why does heavenly punishment exist in this place? Which idiot triggered heavenly punishment? Does he want to die? It doesn't matter if you die, but don't harm others and yourself. Rit was extremely terrified. No one knew better than it how terrifying heavenly punishment was. Once it encountered heavenly punishment, even if it was a divine beast, it would still have a slim chance of survival. Some of the soul-devouring beast clansmen had encountered heavenly punishment and were struck to death by the lightning of the ninth heaven. Not even their bones were left. The problem was, it had committed many evil deeds, killed people like flies, and devoured planets one after another. Yet, it had never encountered heavenly punishment. Because to the universe, the death of life was a very common thing. Every day, countless lives were lost in the universe. The number of lives that the soul-devouring beast had killed was just a drop in the bucket. Wrongly, if it had done something that violated the taboo of the universe, would it encounter heavenly punishment? To put it in an exaggerated way, even the soul-devouring beast was not qualified to encounter heavenly punishment. But what was going on now? Why was this happening now? The soul-devouring beast was currently in a stupefied state. Even though it had been sealed by someone for tens of thousands of years, it had never been afraid. But now, it was afraid because this heavenly punishment could really take its life. No, that's not right. This heavenly punishment isn't born for no reason. Someone must have triggered it. The soul-devouring beast suddenly stared at Xiaoping. It sensed that the lightning tribulation aura seemed to be targeting this human. Rit immediately shouted, "So that's how it is. You're the one who brought God's punishment. Damn it. What have you done to make God punish you?" This soul-devouring beast was extremely shocked because it had annihilated countless demons in the cloud realm and killed hundreds of billions of lives. Yet it was not targeted by the heavenly punishment. However, this human was actually targeted by the heavenly punishment. What kind of taboo thing was this? Rit couldn't even imagine such a thing and couldn't figure it out. It's none of your business. It's not that this isn't heavenly punishment. It's just that I've summoned divine lightning to get rid of evildoers like you, to get rid of evil for the sake of the people, and to return peace to the world. Xiaoping's face was full of righteousness. As soon as he finished speaking, his silhouette flickered as he controlled the golden crow's wings and charged towards the demonic army like a bird. In the eyes of the spectators, he was clearly courting death. This was a suicidal attack. Scram. Scram immediately. Don't harm others and yourself here. The soul-devouring beast's face turned green. It could see that this human had somehow offended the heavenly punishment and attracted the heavenly punishment lightning. He was dead for sure. But before he died, this bastard wanted to find someone to be his scapegoat. It was obvious that he had his eyes on them. One knew better than the soul-devouring beast how terrifying the heavenly punishment lightning was. If anyone dared to disturb it nearby, they would immediately anger the heavens and greatly increase the power of the heavenly punishment lightning. At that time, it would definitely bring disaster to the fish pond. Even they would be targeted by the heavenly punishment and killed instantly. But why would Xiaoping care about the soul-devouring beast's words? He attracted the heavenly punishment lightning to kill this group of demons and the soul-devouring beast at the same time. Therefore, when he heard the soul-devouring beast's words, he sped up and rushed towards the demon army in a frenzy. Rumble. At this moment, sound waves rippled in the sky, as if the god of thunder was enraged. Rings of sound waves condensed into substance and spread out in all directions, causing pain in the eardrums of all living beings. The sound of thunder even had the power to destroy all evil. When the demons heard this sound, they immediately felt as if their heads were being smashed by a hammer. They were dizzy and cried out in pain. Bam bam bam. In an instant, the first wave of the heavenly punishment lightning fell from the sky. There were thousands of purple lightning bolts that seemed to light up the dark sky. These lightning bolts were originally targeted at Xiaoping. But with the Golden Crow's wings, Xiaoping's speed was extremely fast and his footwork was exquisite. He hid among the demon army. Therefore, the demon army became Xiaoping's meat cushion. Immediately, the group of demons were caught off guard and were struck by the purple lightning bolts in the sky. The power of the lightning covered an entire area and all the demons were affected. The power of lightning itself was the power of extreme yang and was the nemesis of many Yin-type creatures. The heavenly punishment lightning was the lightning of all lightning and contained extreme destructive power. Therefore, when the purple lightning landed on the demons, it caused great damage. They were smashed into pieces and disappeared from the world. They didn't even have the chance to scream. With just one strike, thousands of demons disappeared from the world. It was terrifying. As expected of the heavenly punishment lightning. It's really terrifying. Xiaoping blinked and clicked his tongue in admiration. The purple lightning was no weaker than the laser cannon of a spaceship. Even a grandmaster would be seriously injured or even killed if they received it. Bitch. The soul-devouring beast was furious. It had spent a lot of effort to control so many demons, but now they died in such a useless way. Thousands of demons disappeared in an instant. Hurry up and get lost. If you continue to stay here, I will definitely kill you. The soul-devouring beast roared and threatened Xiaoping. Stupid. Xiaoping looked at the soul-devouring beast with disdain. He would be courting death if he left. With so many cannon fodder to help him resist the lightning, how could he bear to leave? Not only did he not leave, but he also went into the army of demons, making the lightning even more violent. Bang bang bang. The second wave of heavenly tribulation lightning also instantly descended. This time, its power was twice as tyrannical as before, and the number of lightning bolts had also increased. Thousands of lightning bolts descended, like a barrage of missiles. They roared and bombarded the demons around Xiaoping. The group of demons let out shrill screams. This was simply an undeserved disaster. They originally wanted to torture and kill humans easily, but who would have thought that they would encounter such a disaster? They were hit by the purple lightning one by one. They had no power to resist at all. The terrifying lightning power destroyed their bodies and turned them into ashes in a few breaths. Chapter 714. 7b M _ off 6 R straight face _ 9 Q _ A O V K A run. We can't get close to this human. This human is simply a jinx, a scourge. He's trying to drag us down with him. Don't die with him. Many of the fiends cried out in horror. They also knew who the culprit was. Wherever Xiaoping went, there would be a storm of blood and countless deaths. The area enveloped by the lightning had been completely cleared. The group of fiends had been reduced to ashes. They didn't even leave behind any last words. They died in an extremely aggrieved manner. They were immediately frightened out of their wits and fled in all directions. But it was useless. Xiaoping flapped his wings and immediately chased after them. He used these fiends as a protective umbrella and used them to block the lightning tribulation for him. Bang bang bang. Bolts of lightning descended, and the evil spirits fled in all directions like frightened birds and stray dogs. Any evil spirit that Xiaoping got close to would be killed by the lightning without exception. At this moment, many humans and demons walked out of the sky demon graveyard's entrance. Among them were the Raven of Misfortune, the three-eyed giant, Tu Ling Long, and other demons. Apart from them, there were also Lu Chao, Feng Qiudao, and other elite humans. The moment they came out, they were immediately given a fright. The sky was densely packed with fiends, blotting out the sun. They were so frightened that they thought they had been ambushed by fiends. But upon closer inspection, they discovered that something was amiss. The group of fiends did not seem to be targeting them, but a human. And this human was none other than Xiaoping. It had to be said that they would recognize this fellow, even if he was reduced to ashes. She really didn't die. The Raven of Misfortune and the other demons exchanged looks and understood each other's intentions. The earth-shattering explosion had indeed failed to kill this human. He was still alive and kicking. Haha, the heavens have eyes. This kid is actually being pursued by fiends. To think that he would have such a day. This is retribution. A demon laughed out loud, revealing a gloating look. Retribution, my ass. Are you blind? How is he being hunted by a demon? He's clearly the one hunting down the demon. An elite student looked at the demon in disdain. What? Everyone looked over and was shocked to find that Xia Pingsheng was extremely ferocious. Facing the army of 100,000 demons, he was still fearless and actually rushed forward like a tiger chasing a flock of sheep. There were clearly 100,000 nefarious devils, but at this moment, they were all scared out of their wits. They were scared out of their wits and fled into the distance. Xiaoping chased after them like a god of war. At the same time, lightning bolts fell from the sky from time to time. All the evil spirits around Xiaoping were shocked to death and turned into ashes, disappearing from this world. RF***CK, what's going on? Is this human defying the heavens? He actually controlled the power of lightning to chase after an army of 100,000 evil demons. Just how'd he do it? He must have taken drugs. The question is, what drugs did this human take to make him so strong? He's so strong that he's a complete mess. He's practically like a god of lightning. Those vicious evil spirits are being chased by him like stray dogs, living in a constant state of panic. He's too awesome. The group of demons was so scared that their eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. If this human was so ferocious, wouldn't he be able to kill them all by himself? He wouldn't even be able to catch his breath. They were now completely convinced by this human. If they knew this brat had such strength, they wouldn't have dared to provoke him. Instead, they ran away. They wouldn't dare to provoke him even if they were beaten to death. Feng Qiudao and the rest were speechless. They had nothing to say. Xiaoping's actions were beyond their imagination. They didn't even know how to express their feelings. A single person chasing after an army of 100,000 nefarious devils. No one would believe such a thing. But now, it was happening right in front of their eyes. Even if they wanted to fake it, it was impossible. At this moment, Xiaoping was like a ferocious tiger, charging into the army of evil spirits. He was like a jinx, killing a large number of evil spirits the moment he entered. Who asked him to suffer the wrath of heaven. The lightning bolts in the sky struck down on his surroundings. Any evil spirit that got close to him was struck by the lightning bolts and turned into ashes. Shameless human, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. An evil spirit let out a sorrowful howl before it died. There were also some evil spirits that begged for mercy. Their faces were pale with fright. Please spare us. Don't drag us down with you. More evil spirits were scared out of their wits. They fled one after another. The army of 100,000 fled in disorder. In just a few short minutes, over 10,000 evil spirits were turned into ashes, struck to death by the heavenly punishment lightning. Kill him. Kill this human immediately. As long as we kill him, we can stop the heavenly tribulation lightning. Seeing its subordinates dying worthlessly, the soul-devouring beast's eyes widened. It roared madly. If this continued, its army of 100,000 evil spirits would collapse and be completely annihilated. It couldn't bear it at all. Rit was experienced and knowledgeable, so it naturally knew that the heavenly tribulation lightning was targeting Xiaoping. If Xiaoping were to die, then the heavenly tribulation lightning would have no target and would naturally dissipate. This was the soul-devouring beast solution, once and for all. Or so that's how it is. Killing this human can stop the heavenly tribulation lightning. Our good idea. Everyone, let's attack together and kill this human. Or, quick, if we want to live, we have to kill this human as soon as possible. Or the surrounding evil spirits all shouted. Their hearts were filled with hatred, and none of them were afraid of death. They attacked Xia Ping, wanting to kill this super calamity in an instant. You still want to kill me? What a joke. Perhaps you still don't know who the real king of the sky is. Xiaoping looked at these evil spirits disdainfully. The golden crow wings on his back gave him the innate ability to control air currents. It could be said that he was now the son of the sky. Even a demonic bird would be far slower than him at the same level. Are these evil spirits wanted to deal with him? What a joke. Moreover, he didn't even need to do anything. As long as he dodged these evil spirits' attacks, the heavenly punishment lightning would naturally help him kill them one by one. In fact, this method of killing evil spirits was extremely efficient. A single lightning strike would definitely kill these evil spirits. This was much better than doing it himself. Now, he completely treated the heavenly punishment lightning as his own weapon, using it to kill the evil spirits. He was invincible. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Xiaoping's figure flickered and turned into countless shadows in the air. He flapped his wings and constantly moved among these evil spirits. No matter how these evil spirits attacked, they could not hurt his body and fell into the air. Even if some attacks were lucky and hit Xiaoping's body, they were blocked by Dark North's body protection technique, and he was unscathed. A few minutes later, a group of evil spirits suffered heavy casualties. Lightning fell, and 30,000 to 40,000 evil spirits were killed by the heavenly punishment lightning. At this time, more than half of the 100,000 evil spirits were killed or injured. Chapter 715. AQ 0. % 5 plus W XBY for with these devils blocking the majority of the purple lightning, Xiaoping only needed to block a portion of it. The power of the lightning entered his body, crackling. When the lightning struck his body, it was like he was massaging it, tempering his skin, muscles, and bones. It was like a hammer hammering his body, purifying the impurities. Instantly, the energy of the lightning was absorbed and devoured by the solar furnace. The majestic energy flowed into his limbs and bones, transforming into a large amount of astral energy that entered a newly opened acupoint. Xiaoping could feel his strength increasing bit by bit. His astral energy increased crazily, and every cell seemed to have a little bit of lightning energy stored within. It was as though he was about to control the power of lightning. But while he was enjoying the strengthening of the heavenly tribulation lightning, the devils were in an incomparably miserable state. No, this human is simply a monster. If we continue to stay here, only death awaits us. Flee. If we don't flee, we will die. The devils were incomparably terrified. They finally realized that if they were to fight against this human, there was no way for them to survive. They couldn't attack him, but as long as this human got close, a single bolt of lightning would strike them, and they would die without a doubt. The opponent couldn't die, no matter how they attacked, and they couldn't hit him. But if they were hit once, they would die. How could they fight such a battle? In fact, this couldn't even be considered a battle. It was just a one-sided slaughter. Finally, even with the mental control of the soul-devouring beast, they were helpless. Their fear of death gave them the upper hand, and they managed to break free from the mental control of the soul-devouring beast. The devils were so frightened that their faces turned pale. They fled in all directions. The army of 100,000 devils had completely collapsed. They were being driven around by Xiaoping like a flock of sheep. They fled quickly, as though they wished their parents had given them more legs. Stay here immediately. Do you all want to die? The soul-devouring beast was flustered and exasperated. It didn't think that these cannon fodder would dare to resist it, abandoning their masters and fleeing. This was treachery. This was betrayal. However, no matter how much the soul-devouring beast roared and threatened, it was unable to make the group of evil spirits stay. Their fear had reached its peak, and they were no longer able to obey any orders. They only had one thought in their mind, and that was to escape. Damned bastards. They really are untrustworthy cannon fodder. I'll have to do it myself. The soul-devouring beast's expression was extremely gloomy. When it saw this group of evil devils that had been scared out of their wits, it knew that they no longer had any value. A frightened wolf was not as ferocious as a flock of sheep. The soul-devouring beast let out an angry roar. It suddenly pounced over like a demonic bird. Its speed was extremely fast, and it wanted to tear Xiaoping's body apart. Boom. However, just as it approached within 100 meters of Xiaoping, a purple lightning bolt fell from the sky and instantly bombarded its body. Crackling sounds could be heard as the power of thunder and lightning spread throughout its body, destroying everything in a frenzy. Even its soul felt a little numb from the electricity, and its entire body was charred black. The soul-devouring beast couldn't help but cry out. It had never felt such intense pain before. It was as if someone was cutting its soul with a pair of scissors. This kind of heavenly tribulation lightning not only attacked the body itself, but also the soul. Dozens, even hundreds of such lightning bolts struck down. Even if its body was extremely strong, it still couldn't withstand it. The soul-devouring beast finally understood why so many soul-devouring beasts in the soul-devouring beast clan had fallen after encountering heavenly punishment. It turned out that the power of this lightning was so terrifying that it couldn't be resisted by ordinary means. The soul-devouring beast's face turned green. It was finally afraid. Like the other evil devils, it began to flee. If it continued to stay here, it would definitely be buried with this human. Don't even think about escaping. How could Xiaoping let this group of cannon fodder escape so easily? He immediately chased after them and had them help him resist the heavenly tribulation lightning. After all, it wasn't easy to find such a large and powerful group of cannon fodder. Soul-devouring beast, aren't you very powerful? Aren't you the one who once swept across all demon kings? If you have the guts, then stay and let's fight for 300 rounds. Could it be that you soul-devouring beasts are all cowardly bandits who don't even dare to fight head-on? Xiaoping loudly mocked, trying to enrage the soul-devouring beast. Bitch. The soul-devouring beast went mad with anger. When had it ever heard someone mock and look down on it like this? He actually dared to call them cowardly bandits? When it swallowed the entire planet, a lowly human like you hadn't even been born yet. It simply wanted to slap this human to death. But when it saw the dense black clouds in the sky and the power of lightning brewing, it immediately cowered and didn't dare to turn its head. Soul-devouring beast, your courage is even smaller than a rabbit's. You're just a weakling who bullies the weak and fears the strong. What other ability do you have besides bullying the weak? Xiaoping shouted. Didn't you say before that you wanted to kill me? Why are you running now? Did you grow wings just for the sake of escaping? Of course, if you want to live, call me Daddy, and I'll consider sparing your little life. He stated his own request. Bastard. The soul-devouring beast was so angry that its heart and liver were about to split open. This lowly human wanted it to call him Daddy? Who'd he think he was? Giving him an inch, he wanted a foot. Rit was extremely sullen. Right now, it didn't even know who was the real calamity of the universe. If this human appeared in the universe, he might become the new calamity and kill who knew how many people. But even if the soul-devouring beast wanted to escape, it couldn't shake off Xiaoping at all. The golden crow wings on his body were too powerful. With a light flap, he was like a supersonic plane, extremely fast. He was practically a ghost hanging on the soul-devouring beast's heels. Bang, bang, bang. Bolts of lightning struck down one after another. 3 lightning tribulations, 4 lightning tribulations, 5 lightning tribulations, 7 lightning tribulations, and finally 9 lightning tribulations. The power of heaven's punishment was madly vented. Or along the way, the ground was scorched. Small mountains collapsed one after another, and huge craters appeared on the ground, just like the surface of the moon. Roop in the sky, the demons fell down like dumplings, all killed by the shockwave. The mighty demon army was almost completely killed. 90% of them were dead. The soul-devouring beast, which was the focus of attention, was also struck by the lightning tribulation. Its scales fell, it was drenched in blood, its lungs were severely injured, and even its soul was torn apart. It could be said that its current state was even worse than when it was sealed 30,000 years ago. Because the lightning tribulation could affect the main body through the soul of the clone, it hurt its core. That was why the soul-devouring beast was so flustered and exasperated that it frantically fled. Chapter 716. K. Z. R. HV. In the distance, many demon prodigies and human elites were dumbfounded. They were completely numb and didn't know what to say. That was an army of 100,000, with countless demons, many of which were at the master level. If such a large army were to press down on them, it would be enough to annihilate them and cause countless casualties. In the outside world, that was an army that could destroy an entire city. But now, they were being hunted down by Xia Ping alone and completely destroyed. 90% of the demons were killed by the lightning. They couldn't fight back at all. Such a result was extremely terrifying. Of course, this was mainly because of the power of the heavenly punishment lightning. If Xia Ping was alone, he wouldn't be able to kill them all. The problem was, these demon prodigies didn't know the truth. They didn't know that the heavenly punishment lightning was coming for Xia Ping, so they were extremely shocked and couldn't bring themselves to fight against this human. Another bolt of lightning fell from the sky and struck this soul-eating beast. It was instantly charred and its skin cracked. Large amounts of blood flowed out, dyeing the area red. The intense pain spread throughout its body, making it tremble. Every nerve felt like it was being bitten by ants. Damn it, I'll kill you. If worst comes to worst, I'll give up this clone and die with you. The soul-eating beast roared. Being chased by Xia Ping like a stray dog made it feel extremely aggrieved. Rick couldn't take it anymore. It decided to give up this clone and kill this damned human, even if its main body was heavily injured. Just then, the black hole in the sky seemed to be slowly shrinking. The power of the heavenly punishment lightning had also mostly disappeared. It no longer had the power to send lightning down. The dark clouds dissipated. The sky was clear after the rain. HM? It's over already. Xia Ping looked up and immediately realized that he had passed the 9 tribulations. The mysterious power that had been staring at him had disappeared without a trace. The majestic pressure also disappeared. It was obvious that he had passed the heavenly punishment. Because of these demons and the soul-eating beast's help, they had endured 99% of the power. He had only endured a small part of the heavenly punishment lightning. In fact, because of the solar furnace, he was able to successfully refine the energy of thunder and lightning as his own. Every single cell in his body seemed to contain the existence of thunder and lightning energy. Xia Ping gently clenched his fists. Lightning seemed to burst out from his fists, crackling and crackling. It's over. It's finally over. The soul-devouring beast also sensed that the danger had left at the first instant. It was immediately wild with joy, as if it had just survived a calamity. After all, if it abandoned this doppelganger, its main body would definitely be heavily injured, and it would be a long time before it could break free from the seal. It might even be suppressed forever until its death. Since there's no heavenly punishment thunder, then you, damned human, don't have any tricks to rely on. Let's see how you'll die this time. The soul-devouring beast stared at Xia Ping with extreme savagery. Rit's body exuded a terrifying killing intent that was almost tangible. Just now, it was in such a miserable state. It was used as a meat cushion by this brat, and was pulled over to block the heavenly lightning. One after another, the heavenly lightning struck down, causing it to lose half of its life. Even its soul energy was damaged. This was a great humiliation. If it didn't completely kill this human, flay his skin, and pull out his tendons, then the reputation of the soul-devouring beast race would be ruined by it. How do I die? Without those demon armies, with this so-called doppelganger, you're nothing but a fart, soul-devouring beast. With a boom, Xiaoping immediately took out the precious artifact, the Hell Spear. Rumble. Suddenly, with his body as the center, a terrifying hellish aura erupted, forming a frightening aura that swept in all directions, causing the entire earth to shake. Vaguely, the air distorted, creating an illusion. It was as if a painting of the nine hells had appeared behind Xiaoping, suppressing countless demons and gods, rendering them unable to move. What? The soul-devouring beast was shocked. It had never imagined that Xiaoping would have such methods and strength. It was clear that this human was even stronger than when he was in the heavenly demon graveyard. He had already stepped into the Grandmaster realm, and his mastery of stellar energy was approaching the transformative realm. In addition, that mysterious precious artifact seemed to have the power to suppress demons and gods. Although it was known as the calamity of the universe, and its race was incomparably tyrannical, how could it compare to a true demon god of hell? Such a hell spear could even suppress a demon god. So what was the soul-devouring beast to it? Not to mention that the soul-devouring beast was not at its peak, but only a doppelganger. Swish. The spear stabbed forward, its speed inconceivable. It was as if the hell spear had disappeared from the soul-devouring beast's eyes. In fact, it wasn't actually disappearing. It was just that the speed of the spear was too fast for the retina to capture, so it seemed to have disappeared. The soul-devouring beast felt that this spear was extremely terrifying. A strong killing intent spread out, and its thoughts seemed to be broken by this mysterious power, stopping its operations. It was as if it was a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, and could only stand where it was and let the opponent do as he pleased. This spear was extremely frightening. It was invincible and seemed to be able to pierce through even the soul. The exquisiteness of the move surpassed that of a king-level martial art. Ardong. In the blink of an eye, the spear pierced through the soul-devouring beast's body like tofu. Its hard scales couldn't stop the hell spear at all. With a puff, a large amount of blood gushed out of its body like a fountain, spraying everywhere. Damned human, I want you to die. The soul-devouring beast's eyes widened, and it let out a violent roar. The air around it distorted, and a strong mental wave shook the surroundings several kilometers. The evil spirits were caught off guard, and their souls were immediately shattered by this mental wave. They were only left with their bodies, and, just like that, they fell to the ground. It's actually not dead. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He realized that his spear had pierced through the soul-devouring beast's heart, but it was still not dead. It was still very lively, and it could even roar. Although the heart was an extremely important location for most living beings, and once it was shattered, death was certain. But obviously, this soul-devouring beast's vital point wasn't like that. Even without its heart, it could still survive. Die. The soul-devouring beast roared. It opened its mouth and inhaled. An extremely terrifying and strange power surged out of its body, and its mouth seemed to form a terrifying black hole, producing a huge suction force. What? Xiaoping was shocked because he felt that when the soul-devouring beast used this move, his body seemed to have produced an extremely terrifying suction force, specifically targeting the soul. For a moment, he felt as if his soul was about to leave his body and be completely devoured by the soul-devouring beast, becoming its food. Chapter 717. You see, W, 8, 5, asterisk WAF, 1, Q, 9b. As long as the soul-devouring beast opened its mouth, it would produce a terrifying suction force. The souls of countless living beings would automatically leave their bodies and quickly enter its stomach to be absorbed and refined. At its peak, the soul-devouring beast had such an ability. When it opened its mouth and swallowed, the souls of all living beings on the entire planet would be swallowed by the soul-devouring beast. Or when the soul-devouring beast descended upon the cloud world, it swallowed the souls of an entire city. Even the demon king could not stop it and had nowhere to run. Or perhaps some living beings with strong willpower and soul power could slightly resist the soul-devouring beast soul power, but if the difference in strength between the two sides was too great, it would be of no use. Or therefore, besieging the soul-devouring beast was of no use. No matter how many cannon fodder attacked, they would only become food in its stomach and provide it with energy. Or rumble, or when the soul-devouring beast used its divine ability. With its body as the center, it immediately produced a dark domain with a diameter of 4 to 5 kilometers. Countless black fog rolled. Or within the range of this domain, all living beings covered instantly felt their souls leaving their bodies. Or the evil spirits' souls were extracted one by one. Their eyeballs immediately turned gray and lost their spirit. The illusory soul energy flew towards the soul-devouring beast's mouth. Even if they screamed and struggled, it was of no use. Or the remaining bodies fell from the sky and smashed into the ground, creating deep pits. Or you want to strip my soul? Xiaoping immediately felt that this kind of ability was too strange. It surpassed any martial skill and was completely targeted at the soul. Ordinary methods were completely useless against it. Rhe immediately circulated the pure young immortal art to protect his soul platform and reach the realm of man and soul as one. Or immediately, the feeling of his soul leaving his body weakened a lot. Or ridiculous. A mere mortal wants to resist the soul-devouring beast's soul power. What a joke. Die. The soul-devouring beast roared angrily. It felt Xiaoping's struggle. He actually wanted to resist its soul power. If this brat succeeded, then the soul-devouring beast clan would be completely finished. If even their special skill was broken by someone, then the soul-devouring beast clan would be completely finished. Our thinking of this, it became even more frenzied. It produced an even more terrifying suction force, trying to strip Xiaoping's soul from his body. The soul energy in the dark attacked the essence of Xiaoping's soul. Boom. This force fiercely bombarded Xiaoping's soul. It was as if countless demons had appeared and were frantically tearing at his sea of consciousness, wanting to tear his soul into pieces. Xiaoping's body trembled. The infernal golden crow bloodline in his body immediately sensed an intense threat. It was incomparably furious. Someone actually dared to offend the dignity of the ruler of hell. This was unforgivable. Crash, /RA, terrifying bloodline power surged out from the depths of his body and quickly rushed into the depths of his soul. Immediately, his soul underwent a huge change, transforming into a black flame. The black flame swayed gently, like a golden crow from hell. It stood tall in the void, shining for all eternity. The entire 9 hells was enveloped in its radiance. It was impossible to describe how dark this flame was. Even the abyss of hell couldn't compare to its darkness. Even the heaviest sin couldn't compare. It was the combination of all depravity, darkness, evil, madness, and slaughter. It was all nothingness. It devoured everything, destroyed everything, and ruled over everything. Any living being, including gods and devils, would die upon touching this hellfire. This was an untouchable nobility. This was a supreme ruler that transcended everything. Damn it, what is this thing? What the hell is it? Originally, the soul-devouring beast wanted to swallow Xiaoping's soul whole and make it its own. But when it saw this terrifying soul fire, it immediately felt as if it was being burned by fire. It felt an irresistible tremble from the bottom of its heart. This was a difference in the hierarchy of life. Although it could devour many souls and was almost always successful, it knew that it couldn't devour this soul the moment it saw this soul fire. Once it devoured it, it would definitely be burned to death by this strange and powerful flame. At that time, let alone devouring the flame to increase its strength, it wouldn't even be able to keep its life. The soul-devouring beast wanted to escape. But it was already too late. The black flame turned into a golden crow of hell and let out a cry. It didn't resist the soul-devouring beast's soul power at all. Instead, it flew towards it. No, no, no. Scram, scram. I don't want to devour you. The soul-devouring beast was so scared that it peed itself. It was the first time in its life that it didn't want to devour a soul. Boom. The golden crow of hell pounced over. The terrifying black flame instantly surrounded the soul-devouring beast's soul and burned it crazily. It immediately swallowed the soul-devouring beast into its stomach. The soul-devouring beast let out an earth-shattering scream. It felt an unprecedented pain as it was burned by the black flame. It was a pain that touched its soul. This was a flame that could destroy souls. The black flames even had the aura of hell, containing extremely terrifying emotions such as anger, greed, seduction, jealousy, pride, sloth, gluttony, and many other negative energies surged into its body, changing the very nature of its soul. It was as if this evil energy had caused its soul to completely fall. This power gave it no chance to resist. It only felt its vision go black and its consciousness vanish. Its entire soul power was reduced to nothingness. In the distance, in a dark space in the heavenly demon graveyard, the soul-devouring beast's main body also screamed crazily. It felt a fatal crisis and instantly severed its mental connection with its avatar. But it was too late. Even though it moved quickly, a wisp of black flame still attacked along its mental connection. It fiercely bombarded its soul and burned it. Rit felt that if the black flame continued to spread, it would soon be completely devoured and turned into fuel for the black flame. It would then be reduced to nothingness. No, no, no. I'm the soul-devouring beast, a calamity of the universe. How can I die like this? Absolutely not. The soul-devouring beast roared. It circulated the terrifying energy in its body to expel the wisps of black flame. After an unknown amount of time, it finally extinguished the black flame. But it paid a heavy price. Its body was heavily injured, blood flowed, and its entire body split open. It was an extremely miserable sight. Damn it, what kind of flame is this? Why can't even I, the mighty soul-devouring beast, resist it? Just a wisp of its power is enough to devour me. What kind of divine beast bloodline is this? The soul-devouring beast still had lingering fear. It could feel the nobility of that bloodline. It contained the aura of a ruler. Any living being that dared to blaspheme, it would immediately die and face calamity. That wasn't something it could covet. Touching it meant death. Chapter 7:18. The soul-devouring beast let out a shrill scream. No matter how it struggled, it couldn't break free from the black flames. In a few breaths, the soul of its clone was burned. In the void, the golden crow of hell swallowed the soul in one gulp and took it for itself. Xiaoping immediately felt a warm current pouring into his body. A large amount of soul energy was devoured by him. His soul seemed to be greedily absorbing it. At the same time, the golden crystal deep in his soul, which was obtained from the devouring heaven demon venerable, quickly melted due to the stimulation of this power and permeated every part of his soul. This greatly increased his soul power and continued to grow. Congratulations to the host for devouring the soul of the soul-devouring beast and obtaining a part of the soul-devouring beast's ability. At this moment, the system prompted, but this ability from the soul-devouring beast is still unstable and will dissipate at any time. Does the host want to fuse this ability with his body? The ability of the soul-devouring beast? Hearing this, Xiaoping's heart moved. What ability? Devours soul power. The system said, whenever the host kills a creature, he can obtain a part of the soul power of the other party's body to strengthen his soul and spiritual power. What? Xiaoping was shocked, and his body shook. He couldn't believe that killing a creature would allow him to obtain a part of the soul power of the other party's body. This ability was too heaven-defying. After all, generally speaking, There were only two ways to increase one's soul power. The first was to increase one's cultivation base. By increasing one's cultivation base to a higher martial realm, one's life would evolve. Naturally, one's soul power would increase. The other was to devour precious spirit items. The problem was that this kind of spirit item that could increase soul power was priceless. Even kings would covet it. There weren't many of them at all. It was extremely difficult to obtain them. But now Xiaoping had a third method. If he killed the enemy, he could absorb a trace of soul power emitted when the enemy died to strengthen himself. Although the ability of a soul-devouring beast was more terrifying, it could directly extract the soul of the other party and devour it directly. And Xiaoping only obtained a part of the ability to devour souls. But this was also very shocking. If it was set out, it would scare many people to death. Fuse immediately. Xiaoping immediately said, if he didn't fuse this ability, he would be a fool. If he had this ability, it would be much easier for him to strengthen his soul power. He didn't know how many times higher it was than others. From a starting point, everyone was different. However, the host, fusing this ability requires 50 million hatred points. The system prompted. The corner of Xiaoping's mouth twitched. He still had a total of 55 million hatred points. Now that he had fused this ability, he would lose 50 million. This was simply an astronomical number, but it was worth it. If there was no Golden Crow of Hell's ability to devour the soul-devouring beast, it would have cost a huge price to obtain such power. It was estimated that 50 million hatred points were not enough. Therefore, he didn't know how much of an advantage he had now. If the Realm King knew about this, he would be so jealous that his eyes would turn green. Got it. Xiaoping expressed that he understood. Anyway, things like hate value. If the old don't go, the new won't come. It was useless to keep it here. If there was a chance, he would spend it and constantly enhance his strength. Rumble. As soon as he finished speaking, the depths of his mind trembled, and a mysterious power surged like an endless warm current, flowing into his limbs and bones, seeping into every cell. Slowly, the energy that came from the soul-devouring beast seemed to condense into a black seed in the depths of Xiaoping's mind. It slowly spun in the middle of Xiaoping's mind, constantly inhaling and exhaling air in an incomparably profound manner. What is this? Xiaoping's heart moved. He felt that this mysterious seed was black all over and seemed to be engraved with dense, ancient inscriptions. His spiritual force penetrated it, and he immediately felt as if he had entered a space of nothingness. It was extremely dark, exuding desires, greed, hunger, and other emotions. It was as if this black seed was a divine beast Tao Tai, eager to devour any soul matter. As long as Xiaoping's mind moved, this black seed would form a black vortex with his body as the center, producing a terrifying suction force, absorbing soul power from all directions. My spiritual force has increased. Xiaoping closed his eyes, and he found that his spiritual force had doubled compared to before, and the area within a radius of 20 kilometers was covered by his spiritual force. In this area, not even the slightest movement could be hidden from him. Although he had devoured the soul-devouring beast's split soul, it was only a split soul, and there was not much soul power. Compared with the main body, it was like comparing an ocean to a drop of water. To be able to double his spiritual force was already a pleasant surprise. If not for the melting of the golden crystal, he probably wouldn't have been able to increase his spiritual force by this much. In fact, the most important thing to devour the soul-devouring beast's split soul was to obtain the ability to devour souls. This ability was more precious than anything else, and it couldn't be exchanged for even 1,000 gold. Has the golden crystal completely disappeared? Xiaoping knew that this small piece of golden crystal's energy was completely gone, and he had devoured and digested it, melting it all into his own soul power. He didn't feel that it was a pity. It was already not bad to be able to increase his soul power by this much. At this moment, the demon race prodigies and human elites in the distance were all stunned. They saw the thunder tribulation end, the sky clear for miles, the army of 100,000 fleeing, and even the leader of the evil devil army being completely killed. Xiaoping stood alone in the void, the two flaming wings on his back gently flapping like a god. Such an aura was like a huge mountain in the hearts of the living beings present. They were all stunned. This is too terrifying. Just how strong does this human want to be? An army of 100,000 evil devils. That's not some cabbage. He can kill anyone now. He is trying to defy the heavens. The group of demons was dumbfounded. They had already raised their opinion of Xiaoping, but they didn't expect to still underestimate him. It can't be his own strength. He might have found a certain restrictive power in the heaven demon battlefield and used it at the last moment. That's why he destroyed the army of 100,000 evil devils. A demon said calmly. A demon calmly said. It did not believe that Xiaoping had such invincible power. If he was really so terrifying, he would have been able to kill all the demons on his own. Even if it's not his own strength, he can control the restrictive power here. This means that this kid is invincible in the heaven demon battlefield and can't be provoked. Otherwise, the army of 100,000 evil devils will end up like this. That's right. Look at this kid's aura. He has already advanced to the Grandmaster realm. Damn it. He was just an 8th Firmament Martial Master previously. It has only been 2 months, and he has actually advanced to the Grandmaster realm. His cultivation speed is too fast. Chapter 719. Phew. Xiaoping took a deep breath and circulated the pure, yang, immortal art. After an unknown period of time, he finally refined the surging soul power completely and took it for his own. Immediately, he felt refreshed and unprecedentedly good. Oh, 2 Ling Long and the rest seemed to be over there. Xiaoping turned around and immediately sensed that a large number of demons and humans had gathered not far away and seemed to be watching from the side. Swoosh! In a flash, he controlled the golden crow's wings and flew towards the place where the crowd was gathered. However, it would have been fine if Xiaoping did not move. Once he did, he immediately scared the demons into a frenzy. Oh my God, the human is coming. What? He actually came. It's over. It's all over. Run. Hurry up and run. If you don't run, you'll die. Many demons were scared half to death, and some of their faces turned green. They didn't have a good relationship with Xiaoping. Besides, they were from different races and had a life-and-death feud with each other. Now that Xiaoping was extremely ferocious and flew towards them with the power of annihilating an army of 100,000 demons, one could imagine the panic and fear in their hearts. Although this human might not have any ill intentions, the problem was that it was better to be safe than sorry. If this human had ill intentions and wanted to annihilate their monsters, who would compensate them if they died? Swoosh! Swoosh! The group of demons was scared out of their wits and didn't dare to stay in the same place. When they saw Xiaoping, it was as if they were looking at a plague. Afraid that they couldn't avoid him, they all fled. Some demonic birds flapped their wings and flew high. Some land beasts ran wildly, and some insect demons even burrowed into the ground to escape. All of them used all their strength and hated that they didn't have more legs. In just a few breaths, they left where they were and fled in all directions. However, it wasn't just those demons. Even the elite students' expressions changed drastically and they fled into the distance. This scene stunned the surrounding demons. One of them asked curiously, "Why are you running? You are all humans and brothers of the same race. What are you afraid of?" They were bewildered. They were monsters, and they were afraid that this fellow would take their lives. It was one thing for them to escape, but these humans were also running away. They were even running faster than them, like rabbits. What the fuck do all of you know? Xiaoping is infamous in our human world, and he's harmed countless companions. Some core students were exiled to the endless ocean because they offended him, and they were unable to return until they advanced into the king realm. An elite student's countenance turned ghastly pale as he recalled the various rumors about Xiaoping. Although the news of the core members being exiled was kept a secret, it was still very easy for the prodigies of the sovereign family clans like them to know about it. There was no way to hide it. Even those arrogant core students, who looked down on everyone else, were driven mad by this brat. They didn't know if they would ever have the chance to make a name for themselves in this lifetime. Small characters like them would definitely be screwed over by this kid. Don't be fooled by how ruthless he is when it comes to dealing with monsters. But when it comes to us humans, this bastard is even more ruthless. He's the kind that beats us to death. Falling into his hands is a fate worse than death. Some elite students gnashed their teeth in anger. He was both afraid and fearful. More importantly, before the celestial demon battlefield began, we deliberately united others to isolate this kid and make him eat dust when he entered the celestial demon battlefield this time. I didn't expect him to be so fierce. As soon as he entered the battlefield, he killed everyone and had one fortuitous encounter after another. Now, he has advanced to the Grandmaster realm and annihilated an army of 100,000 demons. He's so fierce. Quite a few elite students were regretting so much that their intestines turned green. Why did they have to offend such a ferocious monster because of a moment of impulse? Now it was great. He had become rich and soared into the heavens. He was starting to stand out and make them look up to him. Previously, they had ignored him, but now they were simply unable to reach him. Now that they thought about it carefully, they also felt that they were very stupid. How could a true genius be suppressed by their little tricks? A truly capable person would be able to crawl out of a sack, even if he was placed in it. There's such a thing. The group of monsters was dumbfounded. They didn't expect that Xia Ping was not only a scourge of the demon race, but also a famous person in the human world. Countless humans hated this kid, but they couldn't do anything about it. In just a few minutes, the group of people ran away for fear that Xia Ping would catch up with them and torture them. Why are they running so fast? Xia Ping blinked his eyes. He came to the place where the group of monsters and humans had gathered, but before he arrived, this group of guys ran away quickly, completely treating him as a plague. In just a few breaths, there were only a few people left in the originally densely packed open space. Some monsters and humans who ran slower were so scared that their faces turned pale. They ran and shouted, "Don't kill me, don't kill me." They completely regarded Xia Ping as a demon king who was more terrifying than the demons. Huh, why aren't you running? Xia Ping soon discovered that his lackeys, the Crow of Misfortune, the Three-Eyed Giant, Tu Ling Long, the One-Horned Thunderbolt, the Black Water Explosive Bear, the Metal Tiger, the Hypertoxic Spider, and other monster geniuses were still standing where they were. They didn't run away with the others, but stayed where they were. Run my A** guess. Tu Ling Long and the other monsters spat at this human. They had seen Xia Ping's speed just now. It was a speed that even the leader of the demons couldn't escape from. This speed was many times more terrifying than before. It could be said that if this human was bent on chasing someone, he would definitely be able to catch up to them, and there would be nowhere to run. Moreover, they had fireball bombs planted in their bodies, so their lives were in the hands of the human. What if they angered this human because they ran away? They might be directly detonated by this human and die on the spot, following in the footsteps of the Thunder Ape. Therefore, after weighing the pros and cons, they still felt that there was no chance of winning by running away, so they chose to stay. Why are you running? You're our big brother, our comrade who has gone through life and death together. Why are you running away? That's right, we're not the kind of monsters who burn the bridge after crossing it. That's right, we're too happy to see Big Brother again and know that he's still alive. Running away would be madness. The Metal Tiger and the other monsters were fawning over him, but they were cursing in their hearts. Why didn't this human scourge die in that explosion? He's too lucky. God is blind. They were depressed. I didn't expect all of you to be so concerned about me. This makes me very happy. In that case, there's no time to lose. Let's immediately capture some demon geniuses and sell them for money. Xia Ping's eyes were shining with the light of money. If he could capture a few demon geniuses and kidnap them for ransom, he would definitely make a fortune. Chapter 720. Time flew, and more than 10 days had passed in a flash. It had been 3 months since Xia Ping entered the battlefield of the Celestial Demon. Now it was time to leave the battlefield of the Celestial Demon. During these days, Xia Ping had been trying to capture a few more geniuses of the demon clan, but these demons were very cunning. When they saw Xia Ping from afar, they immediately ran away, not giving Xiaoping a chance to catch them. Some timid demons even hid directly until the end of the battlefield of the celestial demon. The battlefield of the celestial demon was too large. If those demons deliberately wanted to hide somewhere, it would be like looking for a needle in a haystack for Xiaoping to find them. Therefore, Xiaoping's plan to capture some geniuses of the demon clan failed. However, he did gain something else. He found some spiritual herbs along the way. Although they were not as good as the white spirit ginseng fruit, they were still rare spiritual herbs. He even took advantage of this time to take the spiritual liquid to hone his qigong. Finally, he opened another acupoint, which increased his gang qi a lot. After opening another 10 acupoints, he would be able to advance to the second stage of the supreme power realm. I didn't expect to leave so soon. Time really flies. At this time, Xiaoping stood on the top of a mountain with his hands behind his back. He looked a little sad and a little reluctant. After staying in the battlefield of the celestial demon for so long, he had some feelings for it. After all, where could he find such a good place? There were spiritual herbs everywhere, and he could find some occasionally. He even had a demon underling serving him. If there was any danger, the underling would immediately help him eliminate it. He didn't need to do anything at all. It was not an exaggeration to say that this was the extravagant life of a local tycoon. If he returned to the outside world, he would not have such benefits. Fly my ass. Tu Ling Long and the other demons wanted nothing more than to bite this human to death. To him, this was an incomparably joyful and memorable journey of time flying by. But for them, it was simply torture, and a day felt like a year. They wanted 3 months to pass at once, so they could quickly leave the battlefield of the celestial demon and stay away from this shameless human. They were also geniuses of the demon clan. If they were in their own clan, they would be like princes and princesses with a high status and many servants. Now, they, the geniuses of the demon clan, were serving this shameless human who shouted at them like they were his subordinates. This was simply a hellish life. They would never forget it for the rest of their lives. If they could go back in time, they would rather die than come to the celestial demon battlefield. That's right, time flies. Big bro, if there's nothing else, we'll go back to the Thousand Monster Mountain. If there's anything in the future, we can contact each other again. The crow of misfortune shouted. It rolled its eyes and immediately wanted to slip away. Tu Ling Long and the other demons also tore the heavenly demon talismans on their bodies and teleported away from this place. Xiaoping smiled and said, "What's the rush? You guys have probably been sick of staying in the Wanyao Mountain. Come with your big brother to the human world as a guest. You'll be able to eat delicious food and drink spicy drinks. I guarantee you guys will have a pleasant journey. Of course, if you don't want to, I won't force you. After all, I'm not a person who forces others to do things against their will. As the saying goes, a melon that is forcefully twisted is not sweet." The crow of misfortune and the other demons bared their teeth, feeling a little nauseous. If a despicable human like you isn't someone who forces others against their will, then there's no one else in the world. They also heard the hidden meaning in Xiaoping's words. If they dared to act blindly without thinking, he would definitely detonate the bomb and blow them up mercilessly. Obviously, this damned human really decided to kidnap them and extort money from their own race. This human's guts were simply boundless. Big bro, if we don't go back for a long time, I'm afraid the elders in the family will be worried, especially my father, the Crow King. He has a very bad temper, and when he gets angry, even he is afraid. The crow of misfortune reminded. If it was really kidnapped by Xiaoping and extorted money, it would definitely offend a monster king. The consequences would be very serious. Moreover, this brat didn't just kidnap one. He kidnapped a total of 7. It's fine. Let your father come as a guest. My house is very big, and there are many guest rooms. It's not a problem, Xiaoping said with a smile, unmoved. Did he think that the so-called monster king could scare him? What a joke. When he returned to the human world, even if this so-called Crow King could ascend to the heavens, he wouldn't be able to cause trouble for him. Come as a guest. The faces of the crow of misfortune and the other demons turned green. Could it be that this guy was planning to kidnap the Monster Kings as well? This human's guts were simply too fat. However, they had no choice but to lower their heads in the face of Xiaoping's oppression. Let's go. Xiaoping immediately tore the Monster King talisman. With a boom, a golden light burst out and instantly enveloped Xiaoping, Tu Linglong, and the other demons. Swoosh! In the next second, they disappeared on the spot and were directly teleported out. At this moment, in various parts of the Sky Demon battlefield, countless demons and human elites also knew that they could finally leave. Some of the demons who had avoided Xiaoping's pursuit were so touched that they burst into tears. It's time. It's finally time. Damn, in order to escape the pursuit of that human devil, I've been hiding everywhere. I'm as miserable as a dog. Isn't that so? Every day, I slept in the open and ate fur and drank blood just to reduce the chances of being exposed. Don't even mention how miserable it was. Fortunately, the bitter days are finally over. We can also enjoy the sweet after suffering. Damn it. Who said that this trip to the Sky Demon battlefield was a vacation? If I don't kill him when I return, I'll change my surname to his. Countless demons sighed. They felt like they had survived a calamity. It could be said that the past 3 months had been the most difficult 3 months of their lives. They were in excruciating pain. They were also elites of the demon race, but they had been frightened to such a state by a human. It was simply humiliating. I wonder how the Crow of Misfortune and the rest are doing now. Are they still being held hostage by that despicable human? A demon suddenly thought of the Crow of Misfortune and the other demons. How can they escape after being targeted by that devil? Don't mention those demon traitors. Just the mention of them infuriates me. They actually betrayed the demons. They must be killed. They didn't do it on purpose. They only did it because they were forced by that human. Bullshit. Which demon traitor wasn't forced? He surrendered after being frightened. We demons don't have such cowards. Apart from Saintess Tu Linglong, the other demons should be captured and killed as a warning to others. Many demons gnashed their teeth at the Crow of Misfortune and the other demons. They hated the actions of the demon traitors and wished that they could destroy their corpses and erase all evidence. Unfortunately, the demon traitors stayed by Xiaoping's side, preventing them from finding an opportunity to attack. Let's go. Let's return to Myriad Demon Mountain. Chapter 721. At this time, in the outside world, a super battleship was docked in an open space. Some guards and many monarchs were waiting there. They were all quietly waiting because today was the day the human elites would come out of the Celestial Beast battlefield. I wonder how those elite students are doing now. Could he have been killed by those demons? Someone asked worriedly. Among experts of the same cultivation level, monsters' talents and battle prowess were superior to humans. In a real battle, humans were at a disadvantage. Often, several humans combined could only defeat one. Therefore, humans were always at a disadvantage on the celestial demon battlefield. There were also some human monstrous geniuses who could rival the geniuses of the demon clan and even defeat them. The problem was that such people were in the minority. That's impossible. No matter what, they are all elites of humanity. They were chosen through slaughter. How could they die so easily? Someone shook his head. He didn't think that the elite students would be at a disadvantage. That's true. The geniuses of our human race are not to be underestimated. In any case, those who survive the Sky Fiend battlefield will definitely become pillars of humanity in the future. Let's wait and see. Very soon, we will know how many people survived. Many people nodded their heads. They were also very confident in the geniuses of the human race. Even if their talents were slightly inferior to the geniuses of the demon race, their martial skills, experience, and resources would not lose to the geniuses of the demon race. If they really fought to the death, it was unknown who would win and who would lose. By the way, isn't there a young man called Xiaoping? I heard that he's the champion of this year's genius battle. I wonder how he's doing? A King Tier mentioned Xiaoping. Although this kid is the champion of the genius contest, he is only at the 8th layer of Martial Master. He is still a distance away from becoming a Grandmaster. Indeed, geniuses like Feng Qiudao have long reached the peak of the 9th layer of the Martial Master realm. Once they enter, they will be able to break through to the Grandmaster realm, increasing their strength by several folds. Xiaoping is still lacking compared to a Grandmaster. If he comes back in a few years, I reckon that Xiaoping will definitely be an influential figure. But now, he's still a little too young. Fortunately, Xiaoping is still young and has plenty of opportunities. We can't expect too much from him this time. Many kings were chatting casually. Boom! Suddenly, a massive wormhole appeared in the sky. It was unknown where the wormhole led to, but it exuded a mysterious and profound aura. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Immediately, streaks of golden light flickered, and figures appeared in the wormhole before quickly landing on the ground. They were the elite students that had entered the celestial demon battlefield. Soon, they were standing on the ground. Some had injured arms, some had torn clothes like beggars, and some had their heads wrapped like dumplings. Almost all of them had injuries on their bodies. It was completely imaginable what sort of difficulties they encountered in the heavenly demon battlefield. It was simply a narrow escape from death. He's out. He's finally out. Great. I've finally left that damn place. I've stayed long enough. This is the air of freedom, the air of safety. It feels so good. Many elite students were extremely excited. Leaving the Sky Demon battlefield meant that they no longer needed to constantly be on guard against evil fiends and demon attacks. They didn't have to face life or death crises at all times and tense their nerves. To them, this was like returning to heaven from hell. All of them were incomparably happy. CK, what's going on? Why are there demons here? Instantly, some kings noticed that Xiaoping had brought 6 or 7 demon race heaven's favorites with him. All of their auras were extremely powerful and had reached the Grandmaster realm. Of course, they weren't afraid of anything. After all, there were dozens of king tiers here. Even if the 1,000 Demon Mountain attacked, they could resist for a while. Hearing this, the surrounding elite students had very strange expressions. Of course, they knew why, but it wasn't their turn to speak now. Xiaoping, what's going on with these demons around you? Yanwang University's vice-chancellor, Lu Shuwan, asked. He looked curiously at the few demons around Xiaoping. He could feel that these few demons had rich bloodlines. They were all descendants of demon kings and had amazing talent. In particular, the rabbit emitted the power of time and space. It was extremely mysterious, as if it had a natural body. Even in the 1,000 Demon Mountain, such a demon would be a descendant with a very high status. Chancellor, they're my spoils of war, Xiaoping said casually. Spoils of war. All the king tiers present were dumbfounded. This was the first time they had heard of someone entering the Sky Demon battlefield and bringing back a few demon race heaven's favorites as spoils of war. It was simply unheard of. Chancellor Lu Shuwen looked at Xiaoping with a strange expression. Spoils of war? What does that mean? It means exactly what it means. Xiaoping looked at Chancellor Lu Shuwen and told him his plan. He wanted to capture a few demon race geniuses and extort them for money. What? The surrounding king tiers were completely dumbfounded. Did this kid know what he was talking about? He actually wanted to capture a few demon race heaven's favorites to extort money from the 1,000 Demon Mountain? How could this kid be so daring? Was this something a human could do? Without a doubt, once this matter was spread, the entire 1,000 Demon Mountain would be shocked. Countless king tiers would want to skin this kid alive and kill him as soon as possible. After all, for hundreds of years, humans had fought with the demon race. There had been many victories and defeats, but they had never tried to extort money from the 1,000 Demon Mountain. Kid, are you crazy? How dare you extort demon kings? A king tier bared his teeth. He didn't expect this kid to be so daring. He even dared to extort kings. How arrogant. Even though he had advanced to the king realm, he wouldn't dare to do it even if he had the chance. After all, once he did this, countless demon kings would be furious. If he encountered these demon kings, he would definitely be ganged up on and die without a burial. Thinking of this scene, he felt goosebumps all over his body. The group of king tiers looked at Xiaoping with extremely strange expressions. They could see that Xiaoping had advanced to the Master Realm. His strength was much stronger than 3 months ago. The problem was, so what if he was a Master Realm master? He dared to offend the Demon Kings. No matter how many lives he had, it wouldn't be enough. I have no choice. I don't know how to do business, and working is too tiring. I don't have any way to make money, so I can only rob the rich and help the poor. There's no other way. Xiaoping spread out his hands. Tu Ling Long and the other monsters were so angry that their noses were crooked. They glared at this shameless guy. What kind of bullsh tea reason was that? Wasn't this kind of declaration something that only a loser could say? He even said that this was robbing the rich and helping the poor. Was this how idioms should be used? Chivalrous robbers specialized in robbing the rich and heartless. They used the money they obtained to help the masses of poor people. You bastard! Extorting money from others was purely to satisfy your own selfish desires. Chapter 722. Interesting, this is really interesting. Hearing this, Principal Lu Shuwen instantly laughed out loud. He looked at Xiaoping. Good kid. Only you can think of such a thing, and you really dare to do it. All right, leave this to me. I'll be in charge of negotiating with the monster race. This time, we must cheat them of a large sum of money. If we don't ruthlessly cut off a piece of their flesh, they won't stop. The way he looked at Xiaoping was very appreciative, and he smiled very happily. Old Lu, this doesn't seem appropriate. Won't we anger the monster kings? Some kings were worried about this. If this caused a war between the human race and the monster race to erupt, many people would die. It's okay. This is just exchanging captives. No matter how angry the monster kings are, they won't dare to do anything. Lu Shuwen was very sure about this because Tu Ling Long and the other monsters didn't die. If they didn't die, then there was a lot more room for negotiation. Any problem that could be solved with money wasn't a problem at all. Of course, how much compensation would they have to pay to bring these geniuses back would be a problem for negotiation. Also, we once spent a large sum of money to save some talented human geniuses from the monster race. At that time, Thousand Monster Mountain ruthlessly slaughtered us. If we don't take revenge this time, wouldn't it seem like we humans don't know how to be grateful? Lu Shuwen said with a smile. Old Lu is right. Hearing this, the other kings nodded. Thousand Monster Mountain had done many such things in the past. They invaded the human race's territory, and in the end, some human geniuses were snatched away and made into slaves, suffering all kinds of torture. To bring these human geniuses back, the Federation government had paid a huge price. They had ruthlessly cut off a piece of their flesh to save those geniuses. Doing this now was just out of politeness. Let's go. Lu Shuwen's eyes lit up. We should leave now and quickly take the super battleship back to the human race's territory. Back to our base. Otherwise, when the monster kings react, there will definitely be a battle. But once we return to the human race's territory, it won't be up to them anymore. He thought about it very clearly. This place was close to the monster race's territory. If there was a conflict, the monster kings could get reinforcements from Thousand Monster Mountain at any time. The other party had the advantage in numbers, so they might be at a disadvantage. However, if they were to return to human territory, the monster kings would no longer be in control. No matter how powerful they would not be able to kill their way into human territory unless they wanted to start a war. All right, some of the monarchs also knew the seriousness of this matter. They immediately ordered all the elite students to board the battleship quickly and then immediately teleport away, catching the group of demon kings off guard. By the time those demon kings reacted, they would have already returned to the human world. At this time, in another area, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. One by one, the demon race geniuses came out of the wormhole. They were carried by a golden light and quickly landed on the ground. Soon, an empty space was filled with geniuses from various races. Many demon kings and demon race elites appeared in the surroundings. They had all appeared here to protect the geniuses of the demon race so that they would not be ambushed by the human race and suffer heavy losses. After all, if all the geniuses of the demon race were to die, there would be a gap in the demon race's powerhouses. This was an unbearable burden. He's out, he's finally out. As expected of the geniuses of the demon race, all of them look refreshed. They probably obtained endless benefits in the Sky Demon battlefield. I wonder how many humans they beat up this time. He's in such a good mood. Mere humans are nothing. Just based on martial strength, they can't catch up to us. Every time they go to the Sky Demon battlefield, they are covered in dust. This time is no exception. Many demon kings revealed amiable smiles when they saw their descendants come out of the Sky Demon battlefield unscathed. They were in a very good mood. Not long after, the geniuses that had entered the Sky Demon battlefield came out one after another. Those that had yet to come out had basically died in the Sky Demon battlefield. What's going on? Where's my race's Thunder Ape? Where'd he go? Why hasn't he come out yet? An Ape King's face was gloomy and black like charcoal. It had an ominous feeling. However, even among the many demon race geniuses, the Thunder Ape was extremely powerful. It would not believe that he had died in the Sky Demon battlefield. My Tiger race's genius, Metal Tiger, is also gone. I haven't seen him yet. The same goes for the Crow of Misfortune. Where'd he go? That's impossible. My three-eyed giant race is invincible. Who can contend against my three-eyed giant race? It's impossible with those lowly humans. Could something have happened in the Sky Demon battlefield? Is there an unprecedented disaster? Immediately, the Raven King, Tiger King, Thunderbolt King, and the other demon kings all had gloomy expressions. They were in a terrible mood. They had an ominous feeling that their descendants had yet to come out. It boded ill rather than well. Tell me, what happened? Why hasn't my race's Saintess, Tu Ling Long, come out yet? She has a secret treasure on her. It's impossible for her to die in the Sky Demon battlefield. A Battle Rabbit King was enraged. The surrounding air distorted and the stones on the ground trembled. This aura enveloped a radius of dozens of miles, making all the demon race geniuses present feel an impending disaster. This was the pressure of a demon king. It was basically undefeatable. Lord Demon King, they have all been kidnapped by a shameless human. He said that he would take them back as mounts and capture a few demon race geniuses to guard his house. One of the demon kings immediately cried and told them about Xiaoping. Those bastards, the Crows of Misfortune, have no backbone at all. They became traitors after being threatened. Those bastards are not demons at all. They betrayed their master for glory. Demons despise them. It said that the Thunder Ape brothers would rather die than submit. They have an unyielding temperament, but they were slapped to death by that human and roasted on the spot. Saintess Tu Ling Long was also captured by that human. He wants to take her back to warm his bed and give birth to many descendants for him. That human is extremely arrogant. He said that if there's a chance, he'll go to the 10,000 Demon Mountain again and capture many demon kings to fill his harem. Fortunately, Saintess Qing Wan escaped quickly. Otherwise, she would have been killed by him. Lord Demon King, you have to avenge us. Punish that shameless and hateful human. Otherwise, our dead demon race brothers will not be able to rest in peace. Many of the demon race's geniuses cried out loud, as if they had been wronged like children. It was as if they wanted to cry out all the bitterness they had suffered in the past 3 months. Chapter 723. What did you say? The Thunder Ape was killed by a human and roasted and eaten on the spot. Does that human want to die? How dare he humiliate the apes like this? The Ape King roared. Its face was gloomy and dark. A terrifying rage was brewing in its chest. The ground it was standing on was immediately shaken by the terrifying chi, creating a huge crater. The Thunder Ape was a rare genius of the apes. They had high hopes for him, and he had the potential to become an invincible king. Now that he was killed by a human, it couldn't accept it. Impossible, you're lying, shouted the Raven King. The Crows of Misfortune are indomitable. We are kings. Our bloodline is noble. Why would we submit to a human and work for him willingly? Don't talk nonsense here. It didn't believe that its descendants would be so spineless that they would willingly become a human's fighter. It's true. All the monsters saw it. The first one to surrender was this damned raven. When it kills monsters, it's even more ruthless than humans. It's a complete betrayal. Some demons swore to the heavens that this was absolutely true. If not for the fact that the Crows of Misfortune and the other demons had surrendered, they would have surrounded the human and killed him. They would not have given him a chance to grow. Forget about the Crows of Misfortune, but the Unicorn Thunderbolt clan will never surrender. That's right. The Tiger Clan is a king. We are born kings. We will never be dogs for humans. The Three-Eyed Giant Clan is the same. Humans are just dwarves. What right does he have to be a master? He wants us to be his guards. Is he crazy? The Thunderbolt King, the Giant King, the Tiger King, and the other kings didn't believe this. Their descendants wouldn't fall to such an extent and be tamed by a small human. It's true, said the Phoenix, but they didn't submit. That human put a restriction on them. If they don't listen, they will be killed. Their bodies will be shattered, and they will die without a whole corpse. So, they have to listen to that human. You can't blame them. Hearing this, the surrounding kings all fell silent. If it was another monster, they wouldn't believe it. But since it was the Phoenix, nobody dared to doubt it. The Phoenix's status in the Thousand Monster Mountain was too high. It was comparable to a king. That human deserves to die. Many monster kings were furious. He actually dared to use such methods to enslave a monster king's descendant. This violated a taboo, causing boundless killing intent to surge within their hearts. They wanted to immediately kill that human. What about our clan's holy maiden Tu Linglong? She fell into that human's hands. How is she now? The Battle Rabbit Monarch was extremely anxious because Tu Linglong was too important to the rabbit race. She was the key to the rabbit race's future glory. If something were to happen to Tu Linglong, it wouldn't be able to make up for it, even if it died. I don't know. You should be fine for now, Qing Wan said solemnly. A demon shouted. She seems fine on the surface, but according to the rumors, Tu Linglong has already become that human's forbidden domain. She works day and night and plays the flute every night. She's been ravaged excessively. It was extremely sad and indignant. What? How dare that human do this and humiliate the demon clan? Kill him. Kill that human. He dares to insult our demon race's holy maiden. This is a great humiliation. The holy maiden's charm is boundless, and she's extremely attractive to humans. No man can resist her. Now that she's fallen into the human's hands, she's probably done for. I'm just afraid that she's pregnant. The group of demons was extremely sad and indignant. There were many among them who adored Tu Linglong, but now, the holy maiden had actually fallen into the human's hands and become his forbidden domain, a maid who warms his bed. When they thought of this, they couldn't restrain their anger. It was as if they had been cuckolded. That damned human. I must annihilate him and exterminate his entire clan. The Battle Rabbit Monarch roared furiously. Tu Linglong was the demon race's holy maiden. She was a noble, pure, and supreme existence that couldn't be blasphemed. But now, she was actually sullied by a lowly human. This was a humiliation. This was a humiliation that couldn't be washed away even with the waters of 3 rivers. How could this be? We're a dignified demon race, yet no demon can restrain him? How could we allow such an ignorant brat to act so tyrannically? What exactly are all of you doing? Why aren't you going to save her? Have you all grown up eating shit? A demon monarch was enraged. As a dignified demon race that fought the heavens and earth, they were invincible. Now, they were actually intimidated by a puny human and rubbed against the ground, not daring to act recklessly. Even when their holy maiden was snatched away, all of them remained indifferent. Instead, they fled in all directions in fear. They were no different from stray dogs. How can a puny human be so savage? Could it be that this isn't because the human is too savage, but because the current generation of demons is simply too weak? How much worse are they compared to the previous generation? Even a puny human can't subdue them. Each generation is worse than the previous. If this continues, our demon race will really become a vassal of the human race. We won't be able to rise again in this lifetime. Many of the demon race elites around gritted their teeth. Their emotions were very complicated. There was anger, grief, disappointment, and helplessness. All sorts of feelings welled up in their hearts. Hearing these words, many geniuses of the demon race felt ashamed. They wanted nothing more than to bury their heads in the ground and never come out again. They also felt extremely ashamed of being so fearful of a human. This was a disgrace. We must kill him. A demon monarch growled. His voice contained boundless anger. He gritted his teeth so hard that they broke. Such a thing was simply unheard of. If they still remained indifferent, they would be completely looked down upon by the human. In the future, the demon race would lose their backbone and wouldn't even be able to raise their heads in front of the human. Where is that human? I'll go and kill him immediately. The Ape King was furious. The Thunder Ape was the hope of their ape race, the future of their race. Now, he was killed by a human. This was a blood feud. Hearing these words, many demon monarchs came to their senses. Yes, find that human and kill him immediately. Also, Holy Maiden Tu Ling Long and the Crow of Misfortune should be rescued immediately. The human's encampment is not far from here. If we go now, we should be able to successfully intercept him. No matter what, if that human really takes away these geniuses of the demon race and sends them back to guard their homes, this will be a great humiliation to our demon race. It's an unbearable weight. Let's go together and demand an explanation from a human. I want to see what this human has to say. How dare he humiliate our demon race like this? If he doesn't give us an explanation, there will be no end to this. Chapter 724. Soon, countless demon kings and elites of the demon race were flying in the sky at extremely fast speed. They arrived at the temporary human camp. But by the time they arrived, they found that Xia Ping and the others had already left, and the building was empty. What's going on? Why are they running so fast? Didn't they just come out? A demon king was dumbfounded. It felt that these humans were running too fast. If it was in the past, these humans would still be here after half a day, but now they ran away in the blink of an eye. You're still asking why they're running so fast? They're obviously worried that we'll punish them, so they ran away quickly. These shameless humans. I can't live under the same sky as them. The Ape King flew into a rage. It was extremely angry. With a thump, it punched the ground, instantly creating a deep pit with a diameter of 1 kilometer. The earth cracked, and the rocks in the distance were shattered. The ground trembled as if there was a magnitude 7 or 8 earthquake. The surrounding elites of the demon race could feel the Ape King's anger. It was completely conceivable that if there were any idiots who dared to provoke it now, they would definitely die without a burial place. Chase them. Immediately catch up to those damned humans. We can't let them run away so easily. The Battle Rabbit King shouted. Their saintess, exquisite rabbit, had been snatched away and was about to be taken back as a maid to warm the bed. If they didn't rescue the saintess, the rabbit race would probably become the laughingstock of the demon race. They would never be able to raise their heads again. It couldn't wait to chase after them. How do we chase after them? A demon king said helplessly, those humans have super warships that can easily jump through space. They'll probably return to the human camp in a few breaths. With such speed, we can't catch up to them even if we try. Even if we're lucky and manage to catch up, we'll still be in the human kingdom. Do we want to start a war with the humans by going there in such a majestic manner? It indicated that it was basically impossible to catch up to the humans. The speed of the human super warships was too terrifying and could jump through space. There was no way to stop them. Hearing this, the Ape King and the other demon kings were all very sullen. If they could start a war with the humans, they would probably choose to do so long ago and expel all these damned humans from the Cloud Realm. The problem was that after experiencing several wars between humans and demons, they had fully understood that humans were not to be trifled with, especially when the other party was armed to the teeth in their cities. They had installed powerful combat systems, all kinds of laser cannons, and all kinds of kings. If they dared to invade, they would definitely pay a heavy price. This isn't it. That isn't it either. Are we supposed to just watch as those outstanding descendants fall into the hands of humans and be forced to work like slaves? The Battle Rabbit Monarch gnashed its teeth in indignation. That's not it either. Ring. Just then, the communication device on the Ape King's body rang. Ever since humans had entered the Sky Realm, they had brought in all kinds of advanced technological weapons. Naturally, the Demon Clan had quickly adopted the communicator that could communicate from thousands of miles away. Even if they did not fully accept it, Many convenient technologies had entered the homes of the demon race, and the communication device was one of them. It's the invincible king of the human race, Lu Shuwen. The battle rabbit monarch's pupils contracted as he looked at the name displayed on the communication device. What? Many of the demon kings were shocked. Lu Shuwen's name was like the shadow of a tree. In every war between humans and demons, this invincible king had always been in the limelight. Countless demon kings had died in his hands, and he was known as the Butcher. Even though they looked down on weak humans, none of them dared to belittle the human king. As for why Lu Shuwen knew the Ape King's communication number, it was very simple. At their level, there are always ways to know each other's contact details. With a beep, the battle rabbit monarch immediately connected the communication device. Lu Shuwen's virtual projection immediately appeared in front of the many elite demons, standing with his hands behind his back. Even from thousands of miles away, they could feel the aura of a king from this virtual projection. It was as lofty as a mountain, as deep as the ocean, as if it would descend from another place at any time. Battle Rabbit Monarch, long time no see. Lu Shuwen greeted with a smile. The Battle Rabbit Monarch's face darkened. Cut the crap. Our relationship isn't that good. The last time we met, you even killed a king of the rabbit race. Tell me your purpose for coming here. As expected of the Battle Rabbit Monarch, you're indeed a straightforward person. I believe that you guys are already aware of the fact that the geniuses of the demon race of your myriad demon mountain have fallen into the hands of the humans. Lu Shuwen said with a smile, without any hint of anger. Many of the demon kings could sense the other party's ill intentions, but they had no choice but to suppress the anger in their hearts when the prodigies of their myriad demon mountain had fallen into the hands of the human race. I'm indeed aware of this matter, but you humans actually dared to capture our rabbit race's saintess. This is unprecedented. Are you trying to break the truce and start a war? If you want, our myriad demon mountain will accompany you to the end. The Battle Rabbit Monarch roared furiously. We humans have always been a race that advocates peace. We pay particular attention to a harmonious society where all races prosper together. We won't start a war unless we have no other choice. Lu Shuwen said calmly. As for the prodigies of your demon race falling into the hands of us humans, that happened in the Sky Demon battlefield. According to the agreement between our two races, the outside world cannot interfere with anything that happens in the Sky Demon battlefield. Therefore, we didn't break the agreement. Everything is very normal. He expressed that the human race had never broken the peace. Shut up. The Battle Rabbit Monarch roared. You humans captured our rabbit race's saintess, and you still say that you didn't break the agreement? Just this kind of behavior alone is enough for you humans to die. Do you understand? The Battle Rabbit Monarch was infuriated. Every single human was despicable and shameless. They even bragged that they were a race that advocated peace and liked a harmonious society. Harmonious my ass. In this world, there was no race that loved war more than humans. Disregarding everything else, just the high-tech weapons that humans had developed were all things that existed to destroy life. This was the ultimate proof. Yet this fellow bragged that humans loved peace. Did he even have any shame? Lu Shuwen, I don't think you called a quarrel with us. The Raven Monarch was very calm. It stared at Lu Shuwen and said, Speak. What exactly is your true motive? It could tell that Lu Shuwen wasn't here to cause trouble, mock, or blow up the matter. It seemed like he had other motives. As long as there was a motive and a condition, then it could be discussed, be it the human race or the demon race. Neither were prepared to start a war. Chapter 725. Ransom the Demon Race Geniuses. Upon hearing this, the demon monarch's expressions changed. They immediately understood what Lu Shuwen was implying. This human monarch clearly wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to extort them. In the past, the demon race had also captured many human elites and used them as slaves, torturing them day and night. The human race had paid a huge price in exchange for these human elites. Now that the tables had turned, it was finally their turn. What do you want? The Battle Rabbit Monarch's anxious mood instantly calmed down. If there was a chance to ransom the rabbit race's saintess, then it was willing to give it a try. After all, the strength of the entire rabbit race was far from enough to invade the human race's territory. 500 billion federal coins. Lu Shuwen extended 5 fingers. Upon hearing this, the battle rabbit monarch was instantly relieved. So it was only 500 billion federal coins. Although it was a lot for ordinary people, it wasn't much for monarchs. If they could spend 500 billion federal coins to solve this problem, then it would be extremely easy. No problem. I can immediately prepare 500 billion federal coins worth of resources. The battle rabbit monarch said in a deep voice. Although it didn't have any federal coins on it, it could provide resources equivalent to 500 billion federal coins. For example, all kinds of spirit herbs, ores, and all kinds of natural treasures. These were all things that the human race needed. Wait, I said 500 billion each. Lu Shuwen waved his hand. He wanted to correct this point. What? Upon hearing this, the demon monarch's expressions changed drastically. Just a single demon race genius required 500 billion federal coins. Now that 7 demon race geniuses have been captured, wouldn't they have to compensate 5 trillion federal coins? Even for a monarch, this was an amount that would bankrupt them. Have you gone crazy from thinking about money? The battle rabbit monarch roared. Lu Shuwen smiled faintly. Don't worry, this is just a bonus. Aside from 500 billion federal coins, we also need to prepare a 1,000-year-old spirit herb, a treasure, and a peerless king-level secret manual. Furthermore, we humans must not have this peerless king-level secret manual. Otherwise, we won't need it. He continued to state his conditions. Impossible. The battle rabbit monarch glared at Lu Shuwen. Just 500 billion federal coins per person was already an astronomical amount. Yet, he still wanted so many treasures. What did he take the demon race for? Fat sheep? To be slaughtered so easily? Human, you have no sincerity at all. Tiger King glared at Lu Shuwen in anger. 1,000-year-old spirit herb? Only you can think of such a thing? Even we, the demon kings, want such a spirit herb. How can we use it to redeem a demon race genius? Why don't you just go rob someone? There are also prized artifacts. Every single one of them is a demon king's secret treasure. They are treasures that can be passed down for tens of thousands of years. Once they are obtained, they can greatly increase the strength of a king. These are strategic weapons that are impossible to trade. As for peerless king-level secret manuals, even our Myriad Monster Mountain doesn't have many secret manuals of this level. You still want to demand an exorbitant price? You want exactly 7 manuals. Do you think that our monster race is stupid? It was completely conceivable that if the 7 geniuses of the Yao clan were to be traded back according to this standard, the 1,000 Monster Mountain would certainly suffer a great loss of strength, and they would lose all face. Most importantly, this was basically giving aid to the enemy. Just by seeding these treasures, it was unknown how many human geniuses would be created. These would all be great enemies of the demon race in the future. This kind of foolish behavior was something that should never be done. This kind of request of yours is too much. It is obvious that you want our monster race to cut off our flesh. Do you even have a conscience by asking such a price? The Raven King clenched his teeth. He felt that this request was too much. Don't agree to it. The Ape King roared. If they want war, then let's give them war. Right now, these damned humans are not willing to hand over the treasures. Then, in the future, I will personally step into the human race's territory to take them. I will bring the heads of billions of humans with me. The Ape King was murderous and furious. Ever since he found out that the peerless genius of the Ape Clan, the Thunder Ape, was killed alive by humans and was even used as food, he was so furious that he even wanted to kill Xiaoping. Therefore, he did not agree to this kind of humiliating condition at all. This was no different from ceding territory and paying reparations after a defeat. If you don't agree, then forget it. Keeping these geniuses of the monster race as slaves is not bad. In the future, we can even bring them with us to attack the Myriad Monster Mountain and make a great contribution to the human race, Lu Shuwen said with a smile. However, this kind of smile made many monster kings feel extremely disgusted. They even felt a chill run down their spines. This was not impossible. After all, these geniuses of the monster race all had the aptitude to become kings, and some even had the aptitude to become invincible kings. In time, they might all become monster kings. At that time, 7 invincible monster kings would come to attack the myriad monster mountain and lead the way. The monster race would be terror-stricken at the mention of their name, bowing their heads and killing each other. This kind of scene made them extremely terrified, although they did not think that these geniuses of the monster race would surrender so easily and willingly fight for the human race. The problem was that if these humans had some kind of method to brainwash these geniuses of the monster race, then they would be facing a few terrifying enemies. Human, you are too much. Do you still have any morals? The battle rabbit monarch's face was as dark as charcoal. If it was not a virtual projection, but Lu Shuwen's real body, it would definitely rush up and fight with Lu Shuwen for 300 rounds, beating him to death. The other monster kings also felt Lu Shuwen's sinister intentions. The destructive power was secondary. The most important thing was that it was disgusting. It was unknown how much mental damage it would cause to the monster race. This was a psychological attack. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. Didn't you do the same thing when a monster race captured the elites of the human race? You forced the elites of the human race to become slaves and drove countless ordinary humans to their deaths as cannon fodder to attack cities and plunder territories. You can't have forgotten these methods, right? Lu Shuwen sneered with a cold glint in his eyes. During the war between the human race and the monster race, they used all sorts of dirty and despicable methods. They used ordinary humans as cannon fodder to block the front as a human wall. If the human army was afraid of harming ordinary humans and their attacks weakened, the monster race would take the opportunity to invade the cities and plunder. That was why there was a blood feud between the two sides that could not be mended. The other monster kings gritted their teeth. They had indeed done such things before, but those of different races were bound to have different intentions. So what if they used some humans as cannon fodder? It wasn't the monster race that died anyway. But now, it was their turn to be forced into such a state by this damned human. Think about it carefully. I will only give you 3 days to consider. If you don't agree, then forget about this matter and let them stay in the human race's territory forever. Lu Shuwen did not want to waste any more time talking to these monster kings. With a snap, he immediately hung up the phone and ended the call. Damn it. Chapter 726. Damn humans. A monster king gritted his teeth. We definitely can agree to their extortion. If everyone does this and kidnaps a monster king's descendant, we'll need a large sum of money to redeem them. Then no amount of money from our myriad demon mountain will be able to fill this hole. These humans think they can intimidate and extort us monster race like this? They're dreaming. It firmly opposed this kind of surrender. The problem is if we don't agree, Tu Linglong and the others will be in danger. A monster king said worriedly. If these were ordinary monsters, then they didn't need to care at all. The problem was that these capture monsters were all successors of monster kings, equivalent to the princes of a country. If they were still indifferent after being captured, then how would others view Myriad Demon Mountain? Pressure immediately increased the pressure. A monster king roared. Gather millions of troops on the border. Gather various monster kings. Create panic and nervousness. Brew the dark clouds of war. And pressure the border with the army. I don't believe that these stupid humans would dare to take the risk of offending us monster race and continue this kind of extortion. I want to scare those cowardly humans until they piss their pants. He proposed to gather countless monster kings to pressure the human race. Many monster kings nodded. They weren't to be trifled with. This Lu Shuwen thought that by making a phone call, he could scare them into kneeling, surrendering, and obediently apologizing. What a joke. When a monster race conquered the world and waged war everywhere, who knew where the humans were playing in the mud? That's right. Pressure first and protest diplomatically. Pressure the border with the army and keep pressuring. I don't believe that they're willing to risk war to offend us. We definitely can't agree to this kind of brazen extortion. Otherwise, in the long run, the dignity of the monster race will be gone. Many monster kings were arrogant and unruly. How could they be extorted so easily? Unless it was absolutely necessary, they wouldn't agree to this kind of extortion. At this time, in a villa in the elite district of Yanhuang University, Xiaoping had already returned to Yanhuang University with a super battleship. Tu Linglong, the Crow of Misfortune, and the other monsters naturally followed him back. However, there were many rooms in the villa, so it wasn't a problem to feed a few people. Principal, do you think that group of demon kings won't agree? Xiaoping blinked. He was in the middle of a video call with Principal Lu Shuwen. Lu Shuwen smiled. Of course, they won't agree to such a blatant blackmail. They will probably use all kinds of tricks, such as threats and temptations. Only when these methods are all gone will they consider compensation. But don't worry, this is the so-called negotiation. Whoever can't withstand the pressure first loses. In any case, with these Demon King's descendants in our hands, we are already in an invincible position. He looked like he had everything under control. He had already calculated the reactions of these Demon Kings. Understood, Headmaster. Xiaoping nodded. Lu Shuwen said in a low voice, remember to be careful. Although Yanhuang University is still very safe, there's no guarantee. If these Demon Kings are enraged and send top-notch assassins, you'll still be in danger. So, you need to be vigilant and protect yourself. He reminded Xiaoping to be careful. After saying this, Lu Shuwen hung up the video call and ended the call. Looks like you guys aren't very valued among the demon race. You're just making excuses for such a small amount of money. You're not straightforward at all. Xiaoping looked at Tu Linglong and the other demons with a bit of disdain. Bullsh asterisk T. Tu Linglong and the other demons spat at this shameless human. Redeeming them would cost at least 500 billion federal coins, and they would also have to be given a treasured artifact, a 1,000-year-old spirit herb, and a peerless king-level secret manual. This was clearly a lion opening its mouth and completely treating the demon race as fat sheep to be slaughtered. If their brains were filled with feces, they would only agree to such a ridiculous request. If they were demon kings, they wouldn't be willing to submit to such a ridiculous behavior. They definitely wouldn't lower their heads. But if that was the case, their hopes of returning to Myriad Demon Mountain would be even slimmer. They might have to stay in the human world for the rest of their lives as slaves. Thinking of this, they felt incomparable despair. Forget it. Without Butcher Zhang, we won't eat furred pigs anymore. Xiaoping didn't care about the rejection of the group of demon kings. Even if they don't want to redeem you, there are many people or demons who want to buy you. From the beginning, he had prepared two plans. First, the group of demon kings would obediently be suckers and be willing to be extorted by him. This way, everyone would be happy. Second, even if the group of demon kings didn't agree, he could sell the descendants of these demon kings to others. After all, these were the descendants of demon kings with amazing aptitudes. If he could catch one, it would be a great honor. He believed that there would be many rich people who would choose to buy them. Even the demon race wasn't united. Good and bad people mixed together and fought each other endlessly. There were also many races that had enmity with tiger demons, rabbit demons, hell crows, and so on. If there was a chance to catch one or two descendants, he believed that the other forces of Myriad Demon Mountain would also be very happy. What exactly do you want? Tu Linglong instinctively sensed this shameless human's sinister intentions. Xiaoping smiled and said, nothing much. I just want to hold an auction. Auction? Hearing this, the Crow of Misfortune and the other demons suddenly felt hopeless. They wanted to faint on the spot. This hateful human really treated them as goods to be auctioned. It's over. It's completely over. After this matter is over, they will definitely become the laughingstock of Myriad Demon Mountain. Thinking of this, Xiaoping immediately took action. He posted on the forum that he would auction a few descendants of demon kings on the online market one day later. The highest bidder would get them. Those who wanted to buy them should hurry. As soon as this was said, all the humans in the cloud realm were immediately excited. What is this kid saying? He wants to publicly auction the descendants of demon kings? Is he crazy? Could it be fake news? The descendants of demon kings are all geniuses of the demon race who stay in myriad demon mountain. Humans have to pay a huge price to catch one. It's equivalent to a prince of a human kingdom. How can it be so easy to catch one? It's true. The person who posted this news is called Xiaoping. He's the champion of this year's genius battle. He just entered the celestial demon battlefield and probably caught the descendants of demon kings there. Damn, is it true? If that's the case, then let's see for ourselves. If I can buy a descendant of a demon king to guard my house, how awesome would that be? Once these descendants grow up, they will become demon kings and super thugs. Chapter 7:27. What's the background of those monster kings' descendants? If they aren't good, we won't participate in the auction. Someone asked curiously, wanting to know which monster king's descendant had been captured. Everyone nodded. Even if they were monster king's descendants, there was a huge gap between them. Some had noble bloodlines and powerful talents, while others had thin bloodlines and ordinary talents. The difference in value was like the difference between heaven and earth. Don't worry, Xiaoping's products are definitely top quality. Xiaoping immediately replied on the forum. For example, this Hell Crow has a pure Monster King bloodline and is very talented. If we auction it and bring it back to guard the door, it will definitely be a top-notch divine beast. You can even let it sing and crow in front of your house. I guarantee that people will turn their heads 100%. He uploaded a picture of the Hell Crow, saying that it was definitely powerful and worth the money. Damn you, Xiaoping, you can't spit out ivory from your dog mouth. How can you think of letting a crow crow in front of your house? Why don't you go to heaven? Crows will only crow when someone in the family dies. It's an ominous symbol. You said that people will turn their heads 100%. Everyone in the family is dead, and there's a crow crowing. It looks very sad. Who wouldn't be curious? It's easy for you to say that. Bullsh asterisk T divine beast. It's simply a jinx. Buy it. That guy's going to be treated like an ancestor. It's not a battle pet. The group of people were speechless when they saw Xiaoping's reply. Their mouths twitched. How could this kid think of letting a crow crow in front of his house? Especially a monster like the crow of misfortune that symbolized death. It had an ominous aura, like the arrival of the god of death. It was a bad omen, and everyone had to avoid it. Crow of misfortune, it seems that you won't be easy to sell. It's not good enough that you're a crow. It's a bad omen, and you call it misfortune. Isn't this adding insult to injury? Who would dare to use you as a battle pet? Aren't they afraid of being cursed to death? Xiaoping looked at the crow of misfortune with disdain. He didn't hide it. He opened the virtual web page and let the crow of misfortune and the other monsters see the information. The crow of misfortune was depressed. This name was given to it by its ancestors. How could it be blamed? Moreover, the transaction didn't go smoothly, and this hateful human actually looked down on it. It was too hateful. Even though it was kidnapped and became a prisoner, it still had its demon personality's dignity. However, there were also some knowledgeable people who cried out in alarm. Hell Crow, isn't that the 1,000 Demon Mountains King race? It is said that their bloodline is comparable to that of a divine beast, and they are called the emissaries of hell. If they advance to the king level, they will have the potential to become an invincible king. In the past wars between the human race and the demon race, the crows of misfortune have been in the limelight. Who knows how many human experts they have killed? He expressed that the crow of misfortune was not simple. If it was a pure crow of misfortune bloodline, then it would definitely be exceptionally noble. Its value is simply immeasurable. Originally, when he heard a group of people criticize the crow of misfortune, Xiaoping felt that the crow of misfortune wouldn't be easy to sell. Fortunately, there were still people who knew what was good for them, so it wasn't considered a pearl covered in dust. That's right, this is the famous crow of misfortune. If you buy it and bring it home, it is equivalent to having a future demon king as a battle pet. Its future is boundless. Xiaoping shouted. Of course, if you think the crow of misfortune is a bad omen, you can also look at other goods. For example, this tiger is called the metal tiger. It looks majestic and full of power. Everyone, look at its streamlined body, sharp tiger claws, ferocious eyes, and sharp fangs. Doesn't it have a kind of prehistoric ferocious beast's aura? With one claw, it can tear a mountain apart. If you can bring this ferocious tiger out, there will be 100% chance of people turning their heads. When you walk, there will be wind, and you can enjoy the envious and jealous gazes of people. It is a must-have tool at home, traveling, and bragging. Moreover, it is relatively easy to raise. It specializes in eating ores. Just give it a few pieces of scrap iron, and it will live. He expressed that this metal tiger was not only very ferocious, but also very easy to raise. It had many advantages. Hearing this, the metal tiger was sad and indignant. It was the future king of the Tiger Demon clan, but now it was used as a tool to show off, and someone even wanted to take it out for a walk. What a shame. Moreover, it was not easy to raise. Although it ate ores, it only ate those precious ores, which were very valuable. It could be said that if one wanted to raise it, an ordinary rich human would have to go bankrupt. This shameless human was clearly hiding key information and selling it falsely. His behavior was quite bad. Metal tiger? Isn't that a special tiger of the Tiger Demon clan? That is the bloodline of the king. It is indeed a fine product. I didn't expect a species like the metal tiger to be brought back. It is really strong. If I can tame this tiger and use it as a battle pet, I don't know how powerful it will be. It seems to be relatively easy to raise. It just needs to eat iron. Many people exclaimed. Compared with the crow of misfortune, the metal tiger was obviously much more powerful. Whether in appearance or ferocity, the metal tiger was far better than the crow of misfortune. It could be said that if one took the metal tiger for a walk on the street, he would definitely become the focus of the crowd, especially some of the rich young masters. They were tempted and wanted to immediately take the metal tiger for themselves. If the crow of misfortune and the metal tiger are not enough, then everyone could take a look at this bull. It is a unicorn thunderbolt. It is born to control the power of thunder. Xiaoping introduced the unicorn thunderbolt. Obtaining this unicorn thunderbolt is equivalent to obtaining a mobile charger. When it runs out of power, let it generate electricity. As the saying goes, charging for 5 minutes, working for 2 hours. With it, you don't need to worry about your communicators running out of power. Moreover, it has a strong reproductive ability. Everyone can completely treat it as a breeding bull. Capture many cows and mate with it. When the time comes, they will give birth to many little unicorn thunderbolts and strengthen the family. Hearing this, the unicorn thunderbolt's nose became crooked. What did this despicable human think of a unicorn thunderbolt? A mobile charger? A demon-shaped generator? He actually wanted to treat it as a breeding bull and let it mate continuously. Only this human could think of such a thing. The unicorn thunderbolt could already imagine its dark days in the future. It would live in a dark and dirty cowshed. It would be emaciated and its 4 legs would tremble. Not bad. Looks like the unicorn thunderbolt is not bad. Although the metal tiger is good, it is too ferocious. I'm still worried that it will bite its master. However, the unicorn thunderbolt is not bad. At least it seems to be gentle and won't hurt people. Yes, moreover, it can be used as a mount. Riding on a unicorn thunderbolt, you can go anywhere in the world. Chapter 728. Of course, other than the unicorn thunderbolt, there's also a blackwater explosive bear. Xiaoping continued. Its bite strength is one of the best among all the monsters. It's on par with a shark. Even titanium alloy is like chocolate in front of its teeth. It runs very ferociously. Its top speed is faster than Mach 1. It has great endurance. It can run thousands of meters up a mountain like it's on flat ground. It can run for 3 days and 3 nights without panting. It's extremely strong. It can even uproot a small mountain and throw it like a ball. But such a ferocious, explosive bear's main occupation is to act cute. Come on, show everyone a simple and honest expression. He forced the blackwater explosive bear to act cute. He even took a simple and honest picture and uploaded it. It looked very cute, just like the pandas on Earth in his previous life, round and chubby. Oh my God, is this the blackwater explosive bear? It's so cute. I want to catch it as a pet. It looks soft and fluffy, just like the furry toys at home. It's so cute. I can feel my girly heart melting. Unbelievable. Everyone look at this shocking bear paw. It can probably split a small mountain into pieces with one slap. But its main occupation is to act cute. Is that true? This picture is too cute. Many girls were attracted by the Blackwater explosive bear's honest expression when they saw the picture. They all exclaimed that it was cute and wanted to catch it and take it home. No, my main occupation is not to act cute. The Blackwater explosive bear was extremely sad when it saw the comments. It wanted to cry, but had no tears. It used to be an extremely ferocious monster. Countless monsters would tremble in fear at the mention of its name. With one slap, countless monsters would be torn into pieces. Moreover, it had a very bad temper. It would fight with others for no reason, leaving many wounds on its body. But now, this despicable human was telling it to act cute. If this matter were to be spread back to the bear clan, the Blackwater explosive bear's reputation would be gone. After all, who would be afraid of a bear that only knew how to act cute? Right now, it simply wished that it could immediately slap this human who had ruined its reputation. Of course, the most valuable one is the widow spider. Xiaoping said carelessly, "Don't be fooled by its ferocious appearance and highly poisonous appearance, as if it was a magical beast from hell. In fact, it is quite gentle inside, and it can spit out a lot of spider silk. This spider silk is impervious to fire and water. It's extremely tough, and it's made of high molecular materials. It's very valuable. If I can get this widow spider, I can treat it as a coolie, spitting silk day and night. Then, I can collect the silk and process it into diving suits, bulletproof vests, fireproof vests, and all kinds of clothes. It can be said that it is simply a super raw material factory. Obtaining it is equivalent to obtaining a huge fortune." He said that the widow spider was the most cost-effective. If he bought this widow spider back, not only would he not suffer a loss, but he would also be able to generate a steady stream of profits. No, I don't want to spin silk. I don't want to be a raw material factory. Seeing the contents sent by Xiaoping, the widow spider's face turned green. It seemed to see itself as a labor force that was squeezed to the extreme. Every day, under the whip of the slave owner, it worked hard to spit out spider silk. If it dared to disobey, or if its workload was reduced, it would be beaten and have no food to eat tonight. Such a future was too dark. It was simply worse than death. Amazing. I didn't expect the widow spider to have such an economic function. If I buy this widow spider, not only will I not suffer a loss, I might even be able to make a huge profit in the future. It is indeed the most cost-effective descendant of the Demon King. Many humans were tempted, especially some misers who were very accurate in their calculations. They frantically calculated how much profit they could make after obtaining the widow spider. Immediately, some people quickly calculated. Indeed, the economic value of the widow spider was extremely high. If they could obtain it, they would be able to create endless profits. Finally, there's a monster called the Three-Eyed Giant. Xiaoping introduced the Three-Eyed Giant. Because this guy is in human form, it might not be as impressive as other monsters as a war pet. However, it is very tall. It is 4 to 5 meters tall and has extraordinary strength. It can completely work in the construction industry. It can move all kinds of goods and is extremely efficient. It is a war pet that can be used as a coolie, and it can also work without complaint. He praised the Three-Eyed Giant, saying that it was also a good war pet. However, when the Three-Eyed Giant heard this, its face turned completely green. This despicable human actually wanted it to work as a coolie. He even wanted it to work as a war pet for those despicable humans and carry bricks everywhere. Well, had the noble Three-Eyed Giant race been reduced to such a state? It could only carry bricks at construction sites. To it, this was a huge insult. It could not tolerate it at all. This is the Three-Eyed Giant? As expected of a giant. It's so tall. It is 4 to 5 meters tall, and it looks like a small mountain. Look at its muscles. They are as hard as rocks. It is indeed extremely strong. This is a super meat shield. If we can obtain it and tame it, it will be a super bodyguard. If we encounter any danger, we can drag it along with us. I guarantee it will be very useful. Many humans were also amazed. All of them were drooling over the Three-Eyed Giant. It couldn't be used as a battle pet, but it could be used as a bodyguard. It would be quite awe-inspiring to bring it along. The Three-Eyed Giant was so depressed that it wanted to vomit blood. It was already miserable to work as a floor tile. Those despicable humans wanted it to be a meat shield and drag it along with them when they encountered danger. What did they think the three-eyed giant was? Right, didn't they say that there was another monster? Someone was very well informed and knew that Xia Ping had a demon on him. It's said that it's the demon race's saintess. Her name is Tu Linglong, and she has a devastatingly beautiful face. Moreover, her figure is quite hot. He even put up Tu Linglong's photo. Many people exclaimed in surprise. Oh my God, she is the holy lady of the monsters. She is so beautiful. I'm willing to shorten my life by 30 years if I can obtain this pet. Why isn't she being auctioned? I can afford it. Don't compete with me. Many people shouted. They were all attracted by Tu Linglong, especially the men. They shouted and expressed that they had already begun to fall in love after seeing the photo. Xia Ping immediately said, "She is not for sale. She is my bed-warming servant. I will not sell her no matter how much money you offer. Everyone give up." Chapter 729. Not for sale. Hearing this, someone immediately shouted, "Xia Ping, why can't you sell it? Don't you want money? No matter how much it is, I can afford it. Just name a price." He expressed his desire to have Tu Linglong. "I'm not selling it." Xia Ping only said 2 words, but his attitude was very firm. Why not? Does this be asterisk starred want to use it for himself? That must be the case. That's the saintess of the rabbit race. Isn't it better to enjoy her for himself? Shameless. This be asterisk starred will definitely have sex every night. I wonder how he'll torture this saintess of the demon race. Damn it, let this kid have sex. He won't be able to get up tomorrow. A group of people cursed Xia Ping fiercely, hoping that Xia Ping would die immediately and never get up again. That way, he might change his mind and sell Tu Linglong. However, no matter what they said, Xia Ping did not change his mind. The group of people beat their chests, feeling very regretful. However, no one could do anything to Xia Ping if he didn't want to sell it. Shameless human. Tu Linglong's pretty face flushed red while she glared angrily at Xia Ping. Even though she felt very fortunate in her heart that this detestable human didn't intend to sell her off, wouldn't that mean that this human would really treat her as a servant that warms his bed? Thinking of this, she felt that her future was bleak. She might have to work like a slave for this human for the rest of her life. Right, how much are these descendants of the Demon King? Someone finally thought of this question. They want to know the price of these battle pets. The starting price is 300 billion federal coins. Xia Ping announced the price. F*CK. Why don't you just rob a bank? 300 billion? You're crazy. Do you know what that is? That's an astronomical number. 300 billion for a battle pet, and it's the starting price. Are you crazy, or are we crazy? Everyone was completely stunned when they heard this price. It was a number that they couldn't imagine. Even a grandmaster would probably have to go bankrupt to afford it. Even a king would have to spend money. After all, this was only the starting price. If there was still an auction, countless tycoons would fight for it, and the price would probably continue to soar. Get lost if you don't have money. Xia Ping's words were not polite at all. Do you think a war pet can be bought by a poor person? My target customers have never been poor people like you. Don't think too highly of yourselves, understand? He despised those poor people. Someone was immediately dissatisfied. 300 billion federal coins. Do you know what that means? Only the royal families can afford that amount. Who will buy a battle pet with that kind of money? He felt that Xia Ping was asking for an exorbitant price. Basically, not many people could afford it. This isn't a war pet. This is a future demon king. Xia Ping said in disdain. If you buy them back and nurture them carefully, they will definitely become monster kings in the future. After all, their aptitudes are rare and extraordinary. Tell me, is it worth it to buy a demon king for 300 billion? 300 billion to buy a demon king? If he could buy it, then it would be worth it, and it would be worth it. After all, a demon king was a king realm expert. If a clan obtained one, then that clan would immediately be able to advance into a king realm clan, and its strength would increase by countless times. With such a king realm expert, the speed at which they made money was almost the same as a money printing machine. They could casually go out and adventure, enter some ruins to search for treasures, and become rich overnight. It was truly worth it to be able to obtain a King Realm expert for merely 300 billion. Xiaoping, don't brag here. Aptitudes are aptitudes. Whether they can become demon kings or not is another matter. Many peerless geniuses have been trapped in the Grandmaster realm for decades and haven't been able to break through for hundreds of years. This isn't a rare occurrence. Someone shouted, "You're clearly using an empty promise to deceive people." So what if it's an empty promise? Their potential is obvious to all. Xiaoping said with disdain, "Buying and selling is a risky thing in itself. It's possible to become rich overnight, or it's possible to lose everything. If they're already demon kings, do you think 300 billion can afford it?" Everyone was stunned. It was indeed so. If they were already demon kings, then 300 billion wouldn't be the starting price at all. There would even be people fighting for 3 trillion. The value of a demon king was so great. In short, it's up to you whether you want it or not. Xiaoping couldn't be bothered to waste his breath on this group of people. "I'll auction these descendants of a demon king on the online store in one day. The starting price is 300 billion federal coins, and the highest bidder will get it. If you don't have money, then don't come here to join in the fun. It isn't something that poor people can afford." After he finished speaking, he didn't want to continue replying and directly went offline. Damn it, Xiaoping is too arrogant. He's clearly looking down on poor people like us. Someone was indignant and felt that he'd been completely underestimated by Xiaoping. Such a tone was clearly looking down on poor people like them. Someone understood Xiaoping very well, and he shook his head and said, "It can't be helped. The descendants of a demon king are too precious, so it's normal for him to be a little arrogant. If he doesn't have money, then he really can't even buy a single hair. Everyone, boycott him and make this auction go down the drain. Let me see where this kid will put his face." Someone suggested that they wanted to boycott Xiaoping and not auction off the descendants of a demon king. Stop talking nonsense. How can we boycott him? Indeed, this is a descendant of a demon king. If we miss this opportunity, then we don't know when the next one will come. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's right. It's a genius of the demon clan with the potential to become a demon king. Who doesn't want it? If they're lucky and one of them becomes a demon king, then they'll be rich. Although this kid Xiaoping's tone is a bit nasty, who told him to have such a good thing? I guess there will be many people participating in the auction. Everyone felt that this boycott was not valid at all. Even if some people didn't like Xiaoping, it was useless. No one would miss a truly good thing, and no one would give it up. Compared to the benefits, what was a temporary grudge? This news quickly spread throughout the Cloud Realm and was known by many sovereign families. They were all in an uproar. They didn't expect that someone would actually dare to publicly auction off a demon king's genius. This was simply unheard of. However, some sovereign families were very tempted. There weren't many opportunities like this to obtain a demon king's descendant. After all, these descendants usually stayed in the Myriad Demon Mountain. If they wanted to kidnap them, they would have to kill them. The Myriad Demon Mountain was a dragon's pool and tiger's den. Entering it meant death. Therefore, they had no chance at all. However, someone actually kidnapped 6 or 7 Demon King's descendants from the Celestial Demon battlefield. This was a great opportunity. If they missed this opportunity, they would be struck by lightning. Chapter 730. At that moment, many demon elites had returned from the Sky Demon battlefield in 10,000 Demon Mountain. Many demon bigwigs immediately heard the news that Tu Linglong and the other demon geniuses had been captured. This caused an uproar throughout 10,000 Demon Mountain. A declaration of war. This is a declaration of war between humans and demons. Roared an ox demon monarch. He dares to capture our descendants today. Tomorrow, they will dare to capture demon monarchs in 10,000 Demon Mountain. If we don't deal with that human, what face will our 10,000 Demon Mountain have? Now, anyone can trample on our 10,000 Demon Mountain. We have to teach those foolish humans a lesson. We have to let them know that we demons are not to be trifled with. We have to make them suffer for 300 years. He was in favor of war. He suggested immediately sending an army to slaughter a few human cities to intimidate the humans. As his descendant, the single-horned lightning ox, had been captured by humans, he was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He wished he could immediately storm into the human kingdom and snatch his grandson back. Ox Demon Monarch, don't brag here all day. If we could start a war and exterminate humans, we would have done it long ago. Why will we wait until today? Use your head and think about it. Is this suggestion suitable? Said an eagle demon monarch disdainfully. He believed that the ox demon monarch spoke without thinking and acted solely on his temper. If the matter were that simple, they wouldn't have held a meeting. They would have gathered the demon monarchs and crushed them. Eagle demon monarch, are you a King spy sent by humans? How can you speak like that when you boost the morale of others and belittle your own? The ox demon monarch was immediately enraged as he accused the eagle demon monarch of being a spy. If I were a spy, I would be the first to King kill you and cook you into a pot of beef soup. The eagle demon monarch was immediately enraged. It was not easy to accuse him of being a spy. Once it was proven, no one could save him. The ox demon monarch went berserk. Eagle demon monarch, you're courting death. Do you want us to spar? Sure. Do you think I'm afraid of a brainless ox demon monarch with a physique like you? The eagle demon monarch sneered as he clenched his fists fearlessly. The two demon monarchs faced each other, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. Shut up! A highly respected Archfiend King shouted angrily, ordering the two Archfiend Kings to stop immediately. Otherwise, they would be thrown out of the meeting hall and forced to reflect on their mistakes for 3 months. Upon hearing that, the ox and hawk demon monarchs had no choice but to stop. After all, they couldn't continue making a fuss in front of so many demon monarchs lest they become a laughing stock. What do you think we should do? This won't do, that won't do. Are we just going to watch helplessly as the prodigies of the demon race are bullied by those humans and become their battle slaves for the rest of our lives? Said the ox demon monarch through gritted teeth. It's impossible to fight, but we can pressure them. The giant king said in a deep voice. His 3 eyes revealed a terrifying cold glint. I don't believe that with the pressure from so many demon monarchs, those foolish humans will still dare to risk starting a war with us and continue making such a huge mistake. It won't work. The Raven King shook his head. Previously, we protested to them through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, exerting pressure and using harsh words, but the humans' attitude was also very tough. They think that since the incident happened in the Thousand Monster Mountain, whatever happens in there, they can't pursue it after they leave. So, if we want Tu Ling Long and the others back, we have to agree to their conditions. Upon hearing this, the giant king sneered. Is this a condition? It's simply extortion. They want to extort our Thousand Monster Mountain. They want 500 billion federal coins per person, and we have to give them a peerless king-level secret manual, a 1,000-year-old spirit herb, and a treasured artifact. They're simply robbing us. He gritted his teeth. He felt that those humans were too much. They weren't sincere at all when they proposed such conditions. Didn't they tell those humans that if they don't kill the culprit and release Tu Ling Long and the others, our Thousand Monster Mountain will start a war with them? A demon monarch wanted to kill the culprit. They did, but those human monarchs didn't take it seriously at all. The Raven King shook his head and said, most importantly, the human who captured Tu Ling Long and the others is the champion of the genius battle. He's only 18 years old, but he has already advanced to the Grandmaster realm. He has a promising future and has the potential to advance to an invincible monarch. They definitely won't give up on such a genius. No matter how much pressure they put on him, it's useless. Many demon monarchs fell silent. They also knew that a monstrous genius like Xiaoping's status was equivalent to their Thousand Monster Mountains Qing Wan and Tu Ling Long. How could such a seed of an invincible monarch be killed by a few words of threat? Is there no way to secretly rescue Tu Ling Long and the others? A demon monarch asked unwillingly. The Raven King shook his head. The other party is already in the deepest part of the human country. It's the most heavily guarded place. Demon monarchs can't enter at all. Entering that place is similar to entering the Thousand Monster Mountain. Even if we send demon monarchs over, we'll just be sending them to their deaths. The giant king gritted his teeth. Even so, we can't agree to those shameless conditions. This is simply ceding territory after a defeat. This is a disgrace. If we agree, each and every one of us will be nailed to the pillar of shame. He definitely wouldn't give in to the shameless demands of the humans. You're right. We can't agree to those conditions. Drag it out. Drag it out until those humans agree. If they don't release our demon race prodigies, we'll fight them to the death. Anyway, even if we don't release them, those humans won't dare to kill them unless they really want to start a war. Many demon monarchs nodded. Those demon race prodigies couldn't die. That was the bottom line. If they really died, then even if the Thousand Monster Mountain was unwilling, they would still start a war with the humans. Oh no! Suddenly, a demon monarch's expression changed. What's wrong? Many demon monarchs looked over. The demon monarch's face was as black as charcoal. Just now, I logged into the Human World's webpage and found that shameless human Xiaoping actually publicly auctioned our demon race prodigies. The time is tomorrow. What? Many demon monarchs' faces turned green. They weren't stupid and naturally knew the seriousness of this matter. Originally, this matter was still under negotiation and was a confidential matter. Now, Xiaoping suddenly revealed it and made it public. This was clearly a slap to the demon race's face. That despicable human actually dares to publicly auction our demon race prodigies. He wants to die. The giant king spat out blood in anger. His lungs felt like they were about to explode. His face was pale, and his heart was going crazy. He couldn't imagine that his descendant, the three-eyed giant, was being auctioned. This was clearly a public execution. The three-eyed giant's face was swollen from being slapped. He had let down his ancestors. Chapter 731. Many monster kings were dumbfounded. They had planned to use all kinds of methods to pressure and suppress the humans. They had even prepared for a long battle. But now, the human didn't want to play with them at all. He directly auctioned them. After all, it wasn't just Thousand Monster Mountain that wanted the Monster King's descendants. Many human kings were also very interested in them and wanted to capture them for research. In the Cloud Realm, besides the humans and the Monster Clan, there were also some tyrannical races. Although their overall strength couldn't compare to the two races, they couldn't be underestimated. These big shots of the races weren't afraid of the Monster Clan. They might also be very interested in the Monster King's descendants. The Monster King gritted his teeth. There's news from the humans. That damned human Xiaoping feels that the Monster Clan isn't sincere. Then there's no need to talk. He decided to directly auction them and sell them to other rich human beings. Damn it. Damn it. That lowly human actually dared to do such a heartless thing. Does he want to become enemies with Thousand Monster Mountain? Does he want to become enemies with us Monster Kings? The giant king roared, unable to restrain its anger. It was going crazy. If Xiaoping was here, it would definitely slap this human into pieces. How dare he do this? The Raven King was also trembling with anger. Many Monster Kings were also furious. Xiaoping's public auction was simply slapping Thousand Monster Mountain's face. But Xiaoping couldn't wait that long. Since these monsters didn't want to agree, then he would force them to agree. Without Butcher Zhang, would they not be able to eat furred pigs? This group of Monster Kings thought too highly of him. They were too arrogant, thinking that he was indispensable. It was simply a joke. For Xiaoping, these Monster Kings were just human ATMs. Anyway, he was going to sell the Monster King's descendants. It didn't matter who he sold them to. In short, it was enough for him to get a lot of money. They still wanted to play pressure and stall for time. What a joke. Xiaoping didn't have that much time to play with them. He directly auctioned them and used force to crack them. If they didn't want these Monster King's descendants back, then Xiaoping didn't care. It was fine as long as someone paid. Kill, kill, kill. Immediately kill that lowly human Xiaoping. He wants to slap our Thousand Monster Mountain's face swollen. If we don't kill this human, the heavens won't forgive us. The giant king was furious. He wanted nothing more than to kill his way into the human world and capture Xiaoping. Yes, immediately head to the human world and kill Xiaoping. Tear him to pieces and annihilate his entire family. Ox Demon Monarch roared angrily as well. His heart was filled with rage like hundreds of volcanoes erupting. If it wasn't for the fact that this was a meeting hall, the entire mountain range would have been completely destroyed. This damned human actually dared to publicly auction off his own grandson. He was courting death. Enough, Raven King said solemnly. There's no use in being angry here. It's impossible to kill. With our strength, it's impossible to kill into the human world. The other demon monarchs won't agree to this either. Hearing this, the giant king and the other demon kings sat down like deflated balloons. They felt extremely aggrieved, but they had no choice but to agree with the Raven King's words. Although this matter seemed very serious to them and could be said to be related to the honor of the demon race, in fact, it was not a big deal to the entire demon race. It was just a small matter. After all, only the descendants of the 7 demon monarchs had been captured, and in the entire 1,000-demon mountain, there were hundreds of king races alone, not to mention other large and small demon races. There were many kinds of them. They would not follow the giant king and the others to their deaths because of this matter. On the contrary, they would watch from the side as a joke. After all, there were many races in 1,000-demon mountain, and there were also deep conflicts between them. Unless it was a war of annihilation, they would not be united at all. This matter was actually not difficult to understand. Even though there was only one race in the human race, there were many conflicts between them. All kinds of king families and all kinds of martial arts forces were mixed together. They all had their own goals and were hindering each other. If just one race could not be united, then how could so many races in the demon race be united? Giant King, you want to drag us demons to our deaths? I won't stand by and watch such a foolish act happen. You can go crazy on your own, but don't drag us down with you. Beside him, a Wolf King sneered. The Giant King gritted his teeth. Wolf King, what do you mean by this? Can we only watch those few geniuses of the demon race fall into the hands of humans and become battle servants? That's what they deserve. It's caused by their lack of strength. The Wolf King said disdainfully, so many geniuses of the demon race didn't fall into the hands of humans, but they were captured. I don't think they can be called geniuses. If they die, then they die. It's not a big deal. What did you say? The Giant King roared and stared at the Wolf King. This guy's words were clearly mocking the descendants of his race for being weak. That was why they were captured by humans and used as captives. That's what I mean. Anyway, isn't the 3-eyed giant race very rich? Just give some money and you can redeem your descendants. It's not a big deal. But because of such a small matter, you want to drag us weak monsters to die with you? I won't agree. The Wolf King said strangely. The other monster kings were silent. Although they didn't say anything, that was indeed what they meant. Because in 1,000-demon mountain, there weren't only strong races, but also many small races. These small races weren't very strong. If a war really broke out, they would definitely be cannon fodder. In fact, in every war, there were many small races that disappeared in the long river of history. Compared to the larger races, the monsters of these small races didn't want war to break out. After all, their race disappeared and they lost all their talents. Monsters like the 3-eyed giant race wouldn't shed a single tear. They wouldn't even express anything. The Giant King was so angry that he wanted to slap the Wolf King to death. Anyway, you and your races can settle this yourselves. Don't drag the entire 1,000-demon mountain into it. In fact, if a war really breaks out because of such a stupid thing, the wolf race won't participate. After saying that, the Wolf King turned and left. Sorry, the crane race won't participate. The rat race has the same opinion. Since money can solve everything, then everything can be salvaged. After all, the humans still have some sincerity. You guys go talk. Although the money is a bit too much, your races shouldn't be lacking in money. This is nothing. Whoever made a mistake should make up for it. Small races like us can't do anything. It all happened in the Sky Demon battlefield. The humans didn't do anything wrong. If we put ourselves in their shoes, if we capture the human geniuses, I don't think the humans can say anything. Instantly, many monster kings expressed their opinions. They were happy to see the giant race, the crow race, the tiger race, and the other big races of 1,000-demon mountain make a fool of themselves. All these years, These big monsters often used Thousand Demon Mountain's name to bully the smaller races, making them pay more and bear more responsibility. However, they didn't get much in return. Now that they finally had a chance to weaken these big races, why wouldn't they do it? The Giant King and the other monster kings felt their hearts go cold. They could see that the internal conflict in Thousand Demon Mountain was very serious. They probably wanted to use Thousand Demon Mountain's power to suppress the humans. This was basically impossible. Chapter 732. Everyone, what should we do now? The Giant King looked around and looked at the remaining monster kings. There's nothing we can do. It seems like the Wanyao Mountain can't come to a decision to fight the humans together and start a war. We can only prepare money and participate in the auction. No matter what, we can't let our race's genius fall into the hands of humans. He has the hope of becoming a monster king, the Raven King said in a deep voice. Even for the Hell Raven race, there were too few descendants with the potential to become monster kings. At most, they could become grandmasters. In the end, to become a monster king, talent, opportunity, and resources were indispensable. It could be said that losing such a descendant was equivalent to losing a future monster king. This was unbearable. Since we can't attack the humans, we can only agree to their request. But before that, I will contact a few human monster kings and hope that they can help and secretly save Tu Ling Long and the others. Although we will have to pay a price, at least we don't need to lose face in the public auction. The Rabbit King said its decision. Even though the monster race and the human race were incompatible, there was still some contact between the monster kings. Even if they weren't as close as brothers, they still had a general friendship. If it asked for help, some human monster kings would probably give it face. That's the only way. The Giant King gritted its teeth. It never thought that the Wanyao Mountain would be forced to this extent by a mere human. This was too much. However, it had to lower its head and couldn't use absolute power to deal with the humans. It could only agree to the other party's request. No matter what, it couldn't bear to see its descendant become a human slave. Fortunately, it could still use money to solve the problem. If money couldn't solve the problem, it would probably go crazy. The next day, in the elite zone of Yanhuang University, a night had already passed. Xiaoping walked out of his bedroom in high spirits and happily ate breakfast in the living room. He was in a good mood because the auction would end tonight. By then, he would have a lot of money and could buy a super battleship that could jump through space. Such a battleship could even be equipped with a super weapon that could kill a monster king. With such a weapon, he could go anywhere he wanted in the cloud realm, no matter how big it was. In the living room, Tu Ling Long, the Raven of Misfortune, and the other monsters looked at Xiaoping with resentment. They gnashed their teeth and wanted to eat Xiaoping alive. What's wrong? Why aren't you having breakfast? If you don't eat well, people will think that I'm abusing you. When the time comes for the auction, people will try to lower the price because of the poor quality. What should I do then? Hurry up and eat, okay? Xiaoping said as he pointed at the dazzling array of delicacies on the table. Go to hell. When Tu Ling Long and the other demons heard the first half of the sentence, they thought that this human was more or less kind-hearted and cared about their physical condition. But when they heard the last few words, they wanted nothing more than to beat this human up and tear him to pieces. He was so concerned about them, and even let them eat breakfast. So it turned out that he was worried about the quality of the food and was trying to lower the price. They had never seen such a shameless human before. He had no compassion at all. I'm not eating. I'm already full from anger. What's there to eat? Tu Ling Long gnashed her teeth and glared at Xiaoping. Her beautiful eyes were burning with flames as if she wanted to burn Xiaoping into pieces. Little girl, if you don't hit for 3 days, you'll tear the tiles off the roof. If you don't scold for 2 days, you'll start to throw off your clothes, right? Xiaoping squinted at him. Believe it or not, I'll hang you up with only a rope on your body. Shameless. Tu Ling Long's face was deathly pale, and her proud body couldn't help but tremble. If she was really hung up by this shameless human with a rope, she didn't know what kind of torture she would suffer. She had heard that there were many perverts among humans who could do all kinds of shameless things with ropes. There were even perverts who shamelessly called it art. Thinking of this, Tu Linglong suddenly stood beside Xiaoping. She was very obedient and didn't dare to throw a tantrum anymore. That's right. It's hard to correct one's mistakes. From now on, be a good maid and do my laundry, make tea, and warm my bed. Xiaoping took the opportunity to instill the concept of a maid into Tu Linglong's mind. Do you know what the 3 obediences and 4 virtues are? They are obedience, obedience, and obedience. In short, you have to be obedient and do whatever I tell you to do. Don't talk back and don't say that you can't do it. You have to have a gentle personality and speak in a gentle tone. Master is your first choice in everything. He admonished Tu Linglong. Yes, master. Tu Linglong bared her teeth, wishing that she could bite this shameless human to death. However, she was still extremely obedient on the surface, as if she had already become a loyal and adorable maid. She walked to Xiaoping's side and very naturally helped him massage his shoulders and legs. It had become a habit for her these days. She was a pitiful saintess of the demon race. She had been pampered since childhood and had never done such things to serve others. Now, she had been trained by this shameless human and learned all kinds of maid skills. The heavens pitied her. She had no intention of learning such useless things at all and was now forced to learn them. By the way, crows of misfortune, do you have any ideas? If you have any requests, feel free to speak your mind. I'm a very democratic person, and I like to listen to other people's opinions the most. I just don't like to implement them. Xiaoping said carelessly. Bullsh asterisk T. The crows of misfortune and the other demons gritted their teeth. They were now equivalent to slaves in ancient times, waiting to be sold by the slave owner. But now, the slave owner even asked the slaves what they thought. Wasn't this clearly asking for trouble? If it weren't for the fact that they couldn't beat this despicable human, they would have risen up and rebelled against the tyranny of the slave owner. He even said that he liked to listen to other people's opinions and didn't intend to implement them. What the hell was the use of their opinions? Was there such a democratic person? No, we don't have any requests. This is good enough. The crows of misfortune and the other demons said. This was actually their true thoughts. They had already come to the human world, and it was impossible for them to escape. Now, their biggest thought was to not cause trouble and leave this ferocious human as soon as possible. This was the best outcome for them. Therefore, they didn't want to offend this human now. Otherwise, if this human flew into a rage, they might suffer. Ring ring. At this moment, Xiaoping's communicator rang. Xiaoping's eyes flashed. He saw that the caller ID was an unknown number, but he didn't hesitate and picked up the unknown number on the spot. With a snap, a virtual projection appeared. An old man in a blue robe appeared in front of Xiaoping. He had a pair of triangular eyes and didn't look like a good person. Even through the virtual projection, he could see that the old man was exuding a tyrannical aura. He was a king. Chapter 733. Huiyoming. I don't know him. Hearing this, Xiaoping looked at the blue-robed elder in confusion. This was the first time he'd heard of this name. It was also the first time he'd seen this elder. I'm the leader of the Hua clan, Huiyoming said in a deep voice. Hua Gang, the descendant of the Hua clan, was taken care of by you. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He also thought of the course student, Hua Gang. I see. Why did you call me? Do you want to punish me? If I wanted to punish you, I would have done a long time ago. Why wait until now? To a king, what you did is just a small matter. It's not worth mentioning, Huiyoming said indifferently. But what you did today is really big. You dared to publicly auction the prodigies of the demon race. Have you thought about the consequences? If you start a war between humans and demons, you'll be the culprit. You'll have to take full responsibility. His tone was very strict, as if Xiaoping was some war criminal. Then what do you want? Xiaoping didn't express his attitude. Huiyoming put on a look of consideration for Xiaoping and said, Of course, unconditionally release the prodigies of the demon race and apologize to them to appease their anger. This will benefit both sides. There's no need to make a big fuss. He gave his opinion. Oh, if there's nothing else, I'll hang up. I still have something to do. Hearing this, Xiaoping wanted to hang up. He didn't even want to waste words with Huiyoming. Not to mention the fact that unconditionally releasing the prodigies of the demon race was too much. He actually wanted him to apologize. Was he really a class A war criminal? Even if this elder was a king, he couldn't criticize this matter. Young man, Hui Yoming's tone was very unhappy. He could tell that Xia Ping wanted to hang up. What are you trying to do? You want to hang up on a king? You're too daring. Don't you know what manners are? He was very angry. Ever since he'd advanced to the king realm, no one had dared to speak to him in such a tone, let alone someone who dared to hang up on him. This was simply unheard of. 1,000 cups are too little when drinking with a bosom friend. Half a sentence is too much when we don't get along. I have nothing to say to you. You don't have a backbone, and you can't stand up after kneeling for so long. I can't blame you for that. Anyway, this is your personality. Xia Ping sneered. But you think that you can order me around just because you're a king? You think too highly of yourself. He didn't bother being polite with the blue-robed old man at all. Even though the other party was a king, anyone who dared to obstruct him was an enemy. Since he was an enemy, what else could he say? As expected of the champion of the genius battle, a peerless monster. He does have a temper. Hui Yoming was so angry that he laughed. He took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. If they were outside, he could kill this arrogant person with a single slap. How dare he act so arrogantly in front of King? He must have lost his patience. However, Xiaoping was currently at Yanhuang University, a place where experts and kings were as common as clouds. Unless he wanted the whole clan to be exterminated and his own reputation ruined, he wouldn't do such a disgraceful thing to harm Xiaoping. Therefore, he could only swallow his anger. Senior, don't you also have a temper? You always want others to apologize, and if they don't obey, you use your power to oppress them. Your temper is quite big, Xiaoping mocked. Hui Yoming was so angry that his face turned pale. This damn guy was clearly mocking him. He took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. Fine, I was indeed a little inappropriate in this matter. How about this? I can make the decision to buy those demon race prodigies around you for 100 billion federal coins each. You don't have to continue the auction and end it like this, lest you anger the demon race and stimulate their nerves. He waved his hand and took a step back. He also put forward his own conditions, saying that he would give Xiaoping 100 billion federal coins each. That would be the end of this matter. 100 billion federal coins? You're sending off a beggar. Xiaoping immediately laughed loudly. My base price is at least 300 billion federal coins, and you only gave me 100 billion. Are you illiterate, or are you hallucinating? Hui Yoming said coldly. Xiaoping, don't go too far. Who doesn't know that you're asking for 300 billion federal coins? This is an unrealistic number. No one can afford it. It's already a good number to be able to get 100 billion. Hurry up and be grateful. If the demon race gets angry, you won't even have a hair. He warned Xiaoping not to be too greedy because he had already taken a step back. As a king, he actually took a step back in front of Grandmaster. He felt that he had already given Xiaoping a lot of face. If it wasn't for Xiaoping's status as an employee of the giant company, the champion of the genius battle, and an elite student of Yanhuang University, he would have directly used his power to oppress Xiaoping. A mere Grandmaster wouldn't dare to go against the king's order. None of your business. Xiaoping sneered. What does it have to do with you whether I can afford it or not? Who are you to come here and talk? If I give you face, you're king. If I don't give you face, you're just an old dog. Don't talk nonsense here. I'm definitely going to win this auction. He looked at Hui Yoming with disdain. You. Hui Yoming was so angry that his beard curled up. His face was very gloomy. You refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. Do you know what the consequences of rejecting a king are? To tell you the truth, I'm not the only one who thinks about this. Some other kings have the same thought. They think that you should consider the big picture. You shouldn't let the human race get into huge trouble for your own selfishness. He warned Xiaoping that this matter had already received the support of some kings. He wasn't alone. Oh, tell them to come bite me. Xiaoping sneered. With a snap, he immediately hung up on Hui Yoming and blacklisted his number, never to contact him again. This old man thought that he could use the power of other kings to oppress him, force him to lower his head and hand over those geniuses of the demon race. What a joke. He didn't even know how strong he was. Now that he was a grandmaster, it wasn't too far away from the king realm. Therefore, he thought that he had started to have the power to be on equal footing with the king. At this moment, in a villa, damn it! With a bang, Hui Yongming grabbed the communicator in his hand and smashed it on the ground. Immediately, a huge pit with a diameter of 10 meters was formed. Gravel flew in all directions, smoke and dust billowed, and there were shocking cracks everywhere on the ground. He was so angry that his face was flushed red. As a king, he was actually hung up on. Even when he called back, the other party didn't pick up. Obviously, his number had entered the blacklist. Chapter 734. At this moment, there were a few kings standing beside Hui Yongming. They had also seen what happened. That young man is too arrogant. A gray-robed old man coldly said, "He actually dares to be so disrespectful to a king and doesn't put us in his eyes." What gave him the guts? He was also extremely furious. Although he wasn't the one talking to Xiaoping, he could feel Hui Yongming's anger. What else can it be? He must be someone from the giant corporation and has gained a lot of attention. That's why he dares to be so fearless. He doesn't even care about the king's words and hangs up just like that. It's probably not a blessing for humanity to have such a person grow to the king realm. A hawk-nosed old man sinisterly said. Killing intent radiated from him. What's the point of saying all this? Another white-robed old man solemnly said, "That brat isn't willing to hand over those monster geniuses. We have no way to force him, or we will attract the attention of the other kings. At that time, we will be in big trouble. The problem is that those monster kings promised us many benefits. We have no choice but to do this." Even if the human race and the monster race were like fire and water, they were currently in a period of peace. The two races would interact with each other, and the kings would interact with each other as well. This time, the monster kings proposed a condition that they couldn't refuse. Hence, they decided to stand up for those monster geniuses, hoping to silently rescue them. Unexpectedly, their plan actually failed. That despicable brat didn't put them in his eyes at all. It's fine. Coldness flashed in Hui Yongming's eyes. That brat thinks too highly of himself. It's fine if he doesn't agree. I can't be bothered to continue talking nonsense with him. Doesn't he want to organize an auction? Let's spoil his plans and see what he can do. What do you mean? The old men present all looked at Hui Yongming curiously. That brat organized the auction in such a short period of time. Also, it's only on the internet. I believe not many people know about this. Hui Yongming said, "We can use our power to delete all his posts on the internet. That way, who would know that he wants to organize an auction? If no one knows, then no one will participate. At that time, I'm afraid that the auction will not be auctioned. Not many people can afford to buy that group of demon race geniuses." Everyone nodded, and their eyes lit up. After all, those who could afford this amount of money were basically super rich and famous in the cloud realm or sovereign families. If these people didn't participate, then this so-called auction would end in vain. As long as we mess up his so-called auction a few times, I believe he will know how foolish his actions are. At that time, he will obediently agree to our conditions. Otherwise, he won't even be able to earn a single cent. Furthermore, as long as we can't hold a public auction, the Fiend race's face will be preserved. We won't be publicly humiliated, and we'll have fulfilled some of the conditions that the Fiend race's king promised. Hui Yongming had a confident look on his face. Amazing, truly amazing. Everyone on the scene said excitedly. They were kings, wielding authority and power. Deleting posts on the internet was a simple matter for them. As long as they were willing, no posts related to Xiaoping's auction would appear on the internet. It could be said that Xiaoping would be banned from the internet and nothing would be left. Moreover, to the Fiend race, as long as they didn't make a big deal out of it and cause them to lose face, they could still accept it. The problem is that this brat is from the giant corporation. If he asks the giant corporation for help, I'm afraid our plan will fall apart. Some kings were worried about this matter. Hui Yongming coldly laughed. This is nothing. Maybe you guys don't know this, but although this brat tricked a group of course students, he also angered many human kings at the same time. They are all unhappy with him. If this brat is unlucky, they won't mind stepping on him. Even within the giant corporation, there are people who think that we need to suppress this brat and give him some training. Otherwise, if he continues to be so arrogant, he will attract a great calamity. Even if we really ban this brat from the internet, as long as we don't harm his life, the giant corporation won't take revenge. They will only think that this is a method to train this brat. He had already calculated everything. Everyone nodded. They also knew the methods used by the superpowers to nurture geniuses. They wouldn't be like nannies that would follow the geniuses all the time. They would only provide some necessary assistance at crucial moments. Soon, that brat will know what the power of a king is. It isn't something a puny elite master like him can compare to, Hui Yongming sinisterly said. This time, he wanted to teach that arrogant brat a deep lesson. A few hours later, in Yanwang University, Xiaoping was in his villa. He soon discovered that something was wrong on the internet. This was because he discovered that all his posts on the forum had disappeared. They were all deleted. Even the topic of the auction had been banned. Everything with the keyword Xiaoping would be deleted. It was as though the entire internet had banned the topic of Xiaoping's auction. The topic also gradually cooled down. There weren't many people discussing it anymore. If this continued, there wouldn't be many people participating in the auction. So that's how it is. Did the kings make a move? They actually deleted all my posts on the forum. They want to block me from the source and completely destroy my auction. Their methods are really dirty. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He had seen that the power of a king was indeed very strong. With just a sentence, they could block the entire internet and delete many posts on it. Even if it was a superstar, if they offended a king, they would be completely blacklisted and would disappear without a trace. In fact, if it was possible, they even wanted to directly ban Xiaoping's auction in the online shopping mall. However, the online shopping mall was the property of the giant company. No matter how powerful they were, they couldn't affect the online shopping mall. Although the giant company wouldn't get involved in this kind of struggle, it didn't mean that these kings could do whatever they wanted. If even the company's business was affected, they wouldn't be allowed to do whatever they wanted. Interesting. Since you guys want to play, I'll play with you guys. Xiaoping rolled his eyes. He felt that this was a great opportunity. He might be able to gain a lot of hatred. You guys think that you can block my news with this kind of method? Dream on. Xiaoping had ways to deal with this kind of method. However, he didn't expect that a king like Hui Yongming would go to such an extent for a group of demon race geniuses. Chapter 735. Half an hour later, Xiaoping brought Tu Linglong to the headquarters of the Pingtian sect. He needed Feng Hetong and the others' help. He needed them to solve this problem. Big brother. At this moment, Feng Hetong received Xiaoping's call and was already waiting at the entrance of the headquarters. Apart from that, the entrance was also filled with a dense crowd. They all wore white sportswear with the words Pingtian Sect written on the back. They were clearly in uniform. So powerful. Is this the legendary sect master of our Pingtian sect, Xiaoping? He's so powerful. His aura is extraordinary. Even from 100 meters away, I can clearly feel the sect master's aura. It's like a spring breeze. He even brings a girl with him when he goes out, and she's a beauty at that. As expected of the sect master, his realm is different from ours. Oh my God, this must be the legendary saintess of the demon race, Tu Linglong. As expected of the saintess. She's so beautiful. I heard that the sect master captured her from the celestial demon battlefield. What? The demon race is so good. I heard that in a primitive society, people don't need to send flowers when they're in love. They just take a mace and knock out any beautiful girl they see. Then, they bring her back to the cave to get married. Damn, this kind of love is really primitive and direct. But that's the way to go. What's the point of dating? They just knock her out when they see her. That's so simple and direct. Don't waste everyone's time. Stop talking nonsense. Those demons are so savage. They eat people without spitting out bones. You want to knock her out? You'll probably be cooked and eaten before you even get to her. That's right. Only a peerless genius like Lord Sect Master could do such a thing. Taking someone's head from 1,000 miles away, shocking the crowd, and forcibly taking away the saintess, making those demons stomp their feet in anger. I heard that the sect master is already a grandmaster. His strength is extraordinary. Why is there such a huge difference between people? I I heard that the sect master is just a freshman like us, but he's already miles ahead of us. He's about to become a core student. Otherwise, he's the sect master while we're just running errands. Many members of the Pingtian sect looked at Xia Ping in admiration. They had heard of Xia Ping's countless achievements. He had challenged over 100 societies, killed bandits, slain the prodigies of the demon race, subdued the core students, and became the champion of the genius battle. Now, he had displayed his prowess in the Heaven Beast battlefield, capturing several Fiend race geniuses as his battle pets. He was in the limelight and was hailed as an invincible king in the future. As long as he didn't die, he would definitely become a great character that stood at the peak of the human race. All kinds of legends made them unswervingly loyal to Xia Ping, and they worshipped him greatly. You're already a martial master? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He could sense that Feng Hatang's martial arts cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds. Unlike a few months ago, he had already advanced to the martial master realm. He counted carefully. It had been almost a year since he came to Yanhuang University, and he was not the only one who had improved. The other students had also made great progress in their martial arts cultivation. I was just lucky. I can't compare to Big Brother. Feng Hatang had a humble expression, but he could not hide the pride on his face. In just a year, he had advanced from the third heaven of fighter to the martial master realm. Even in the entire Yanhuang University, he was a rare existence. Of course, he could not compare to Xia Ping, who was a freak, but he was much faster than the other students. In fact, his rapid progress had a lot to do with the Pingtian sect. Because of the establishment of the Pingtian sect, it gradually became a super society in Yanhuang University. There were many experts, and they formed cliques everywhere to plunder resources and bully the market. As a result, the Pingtian sect grew stronger and stronger, and they gained countless benefits. Even though some people wanted to suppress the Pingtian sect, they saw that Xia Ping was too popular. He had even advanced to the Grandmaster realm and would soon become a core student of Yanhuang University. Many people suppressed their restlessness. They could only watch as the monstrous organization, the Pingtian sect, continued to grow. As the second in command of the Pingtian sect, Feng Hatang naturally gained countless benefits. First were cultivation resources. He did not know how much he had obtained, but it was even more than what he had obtained from his own family. In addition, his king-level cultivation method, the Gluttonous Heart Sutra, was a supreme cultivation method that could only be cultivated by accumulating resources. The more precious the food, the faster the cultivation speed. As a result, his martial cultivation advanced by leaps and bounds, and he advanced to the first heaven of martial master realm. You actually brought a girl here to inspect the Pingtian sect. The sect master is really arrogant. A charming voice rang out and reached Xia Ping's ears. Xia Ping immediately looked over and saw that the person who had spoken was a woman with a graceful figure. She had a devastatingly beautiful appearance and a pair of lively eyes that seemed to be able to speak. Just by looking at them, any man would feel as if they had fallen into the river of love and were unable to extricate themselves. Her figure was graceful, her long legs were straight, and her waist was slender. It was as if she had been outlined by the golden ratio, a masterpiece of God. Every inch of her was incomparably perfect, just right, and it made one feel relaxed and happy. Her long hair cascaded down like a waterfall, just enough to cover her tunic. Her body emitted an endless charm and radiance. She became the focus of everyone's attention just by standing there. No one could ignore her. Without a doubt, she was a great beauty, like a female star who had walked out of a television show. Tu Linglong could not help but widen her beautiful eyes. She could also feel that this woman was extraordinary. She was a peerless human beauty that could rival her. With such an outstanding temperament, she was like a goddess. Suji. Xia Ping blinked his eyes. He saw that this woman was Suji, and beside her stood a group of female idols, like a group of female idols. Many of the surrounding male students looked at them with adoration, as if they were fanatical fans. Feng Hatang, why are these girls here? Xia Ping asked curiously. Feng Hatang immediately said, Big brother, they've already joined the Pingtian Gate. Right now, Young Lady Su is the third most important person in our Pingtian Gate. She's like the vice sect master. In reality, it's all thanks to Young Lady Su's help that our Pingtian Gate has developed so quickly. It's like the sun in the sky. He introduced Su Ji's contributions to the Pingtian Gate. Very good. Work harder in the future, work overtime often, and contribute to the Pingtian Gate. There will be a day when you can make a name for yourself. Xiaoping was like a big boss, giving out rewards and empty promises to outstanding employees. Who wants to work overtime for you? Su Ji snapped when she heard this. Her beautiful eyes glared at this bastard. This guy clearly hasn't been to the Pingtian Gate many times, and he's only a spiritual leader. Now, he's acting like the boss of the Pingtian Gate, treating all of them as employees. He even wants them to work overtime for free. He's shameless to the extreme. Chapter 736. Strange, it seems like your martial arts cultivation has improved a lot. Xiaoping touched his chin. He sensed that Su Ji's martial arts progress was very fast. She had advanced to the 4th layer of Martial Master, which was much stronger than before. But thinking about it carefully, even Feng Hitong had improved at lightning speed. After such a long time, Su Ji, who was more talented and had the resources of the King family, should have advanced to the 4th layer of Martial Master. You're not the only one who can improve. Now I am an elite student of Yanhuang University. Su Ji said proudly. Among the many new students, her martial arts cultivation could be ranked in the top 10. Elite student is nothing. I will soon become a core student. Xiaoping said. What? Su Ji gritted her teeth. She was very unwilling. She almost forgot that this guy in front of her was a super abnormal. He was obviously a new student, but he was worse than her when he first entered the school. Now, he actually advanced to the Master Realm. His speed of improvement was very fast. By the way, do you want to come to my house tonight? I will give you some pointers. I guarantee that you will soon be promoted to the Master Realm. Xiaoping showed the appearance of a good teacher. Who needs your pointers, smelly rogue? Don't think I don't know what you were thinking. Su Ji spat at this rogue. He wanted her to come to his house tonight. If he really went there, would she still be intact tomorrow? She would have long been eaten up. He even said he would give her pointers on martial arts cultivation. A man and a woman alone in a room, and they still talked about martial arts. If they talked, they would probably be eaten up by this rogue's beast nature. Forget it. A dog bites Lu Dongbin. You don't recognize my kindness. It is rare that I want to give you pointers. I didn't expect you to misunderstand that I have evil intentions. Now it is hard to be a good person. Xiaoping was very emotional. What is wrong with people? There is no trust between them. Bullshit. Su Ji gritted her teeth. This kid is showing off. Who is he calling a dog? She disdainfully said, even if you are a master, my sister Su Mei is a genius who is about to be promoted to the king level. I don't know how high her martial arts cultivation is. Even if I ask her for advice, I will not ask you for advice. She said that Xiaoping's martial arts cultivation was not worth mentioning. Compared to a real expert, he was far away. Xiaoping blinked his eyes. Your sister? By the way, where is your sister now? There doesn't seem to be any news about her. It's none of your business. What are you trying to do to my sister? Su Ji very vigilantly looked at Xiaoping. She felt that this rogue was not only eyeing her, but also eyeing her sister. It was said that many men's dream was to enjoy the blessings of having 2 wives, sisters, twin lotuses, and so on. This beast probably had the same bad idea. Although she wasn't worried that her sister would like this hooligan, she couldn't stand the fact that this hooligan was despicable. If he drugged her sister, it would be a disaster. At the thought of this, she warned Xiaoping, I'm warning you, my sister is already in closed-door training. Once she comes out, she'll be a king. If you have any bad intentions towards my sister, you'd better put them away immediately. Otherwise, if Big Sister gets angry, you'll be finished. Maybe even your tools will be confiscated. She looked dangerously at a certain part of Xiaoping's body. Soon to become a king? Xiaoping blinked. He was extremely curious about how to advance into the king realm. After all, the king realm was an extremely difficult realm for any genius. Without a fated chance, even if one wasted dozens or hundreds of years, they still wouldn't be able to break through. However, Now is not the time to care about this. He turned his head and said to Feng Hetong, "This time, I have something that I need the Pingtian sect's help with. Big brother, please say it. We'll definitely do our best until the day we die." Feng Hetong patted his chest. Xiaoping immediately explained the reason. He said that he had offended some King Realm cultivators and was banned from the internet. Any post discussing the auction on the forum had been deleted. The situation was very serious. Therefore, he needed to borrow the power of the Pingtian sect disciples to help him post on the internet, create momentum and public opinion, promote the auction, and make the so-called online ban invisible. This is the best. Hearing this, Su Ji was completely speechless. This rogue was really audacious. Previously, he only offended some students. Now, he even offended a King Realm cultivator and was banned. Did he really not know how to write the word death? When ordinary people heard the anger of a King Realm cultivator, they would already be trembling in fear. They would immediately go over and apologize in fear and trepidation. How would they dare to resist? However, this kid actually did not take it seriously. He even wanted to resist and slap the face of a King Realm cultivator. She didn't know if she was crazy or if this guy was crazy. "Big brother, don't worry. This matter will be settled. Our Pingtian sect might not have much, but we have a lot of people." Feng Hetong was not bragging. Up until now, the Pingtian sect already had 100,000 disciples. They were spread all over Yanwang University. There were even students from other universities who wanted to join after hearing about the Pingtian sect. Now, Feng Hetong was even considering opening branches in other universities. His short-term goal was to have a Pingtian sect in every university. This way, the power gathered would be quite terrifying. Because of this, even though Su Ji hated Xiaoping, she still thought of a way to join the Pingtian sect. She could see the potential of the Pingtian sect. If she joined, she would definitely receive a huge boost. Now, it seemed that things were just as she expected. It had already become a giant society in Yanwang University. And Su Ji had also obtained a lot of benefits from it. Of course, what she wanted to do the most was to take the Pingtian sect for herself and completely control it. She wanted that shameless bastard Xiaoping to be the lone commander and take over the magpie's nest. However, things are not going smoothly so far. Not only was there Feng Hetong's obstruction, but more importantly, that bastard Xiaoping's presence was too high. He often caused big trouble and would shock the Sky Realm from time to time. Who knew how many students chose to join the Pingtian sect because they admired Xiaoping? She wanted to use some tricks to subdue those unruly students, but it was not possible in a short period of time. This made Su Ji want to scold that bastard. Didn't he know how to keep a low profile? Who knew when he would stop causing trouble all day long? Very good. Xiaoping was very satisfied. However, this is not enough. I also want the 100,000 disciples of the Pingtian sect to work together. Each of them will find 10 people, and then another 10 people. They will post on all the major forums 24 hours a day to promote the auction.